Nice feeling afternoon. Our humidity is nice and low. Temperatures are on the warm side with highs in the mid-80s, and we're seeing lots of sunshine. Clear and cooler tonight. We drop to 58 degrees, and then tomorrow, mostly sunny and very pleasant with highs in the low 80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 400 points to 38,451. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle, with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use the code TRIANGLE.
Love guarded by Keels, gets a screen, pulls up for three. Got it! Caleb from straight away! Jones with one. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joyner with a long rebound, kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball, right side.
Bang! Shotgun snap, Bryce Young, pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Chark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance, and the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you, did you have a good night?
Vaught Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. For those of you counting at home, day 5 of the GM search for the Carolina Hurricanes. It's been 5 days since Don Waddell threw up the deuces. Said, see ya. He's landed in Columbus with the Blue Jackets since then. Carolina Hurricanes, still waiting. Still waiting. Well, first, obviously, I just said Don Waddell ended with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He had his introductory press conference today. Some interesting things said, including this on why he left Carolina.
The best way I could always say is you just feel at times it's time to make a change. And, when I made the decision to step down there, I wasn't sure exactly what my next move was going to be. And I knew Columbus obviously had an opening, but I didn't know if Columbus would have interest in me, and I didn't know if I'd have interest in Columbus. And so once I stepped down, I had contact from 3 teams, and Columbus was first conversation I had with Mike was very enlightening because I know Mike, and so when I came in here, the decision for me was easy, and then they had to make a decision from Mike and the ownership move forward. So I think it was just time for me to move on. I don't really have, we're in the middle of a development there, a $1 billion development, and running the hockey team in the building and everything. It was just, it wasn't the work. It was just, I just felt like I need to move on.
It's always funny to talk about all of the work and then go, well, it wasn't the work. It's like, well, then why did you just explain? Well, it's a $1 billion development. It's the I'm running the building. I'm running the business. It wasn't the work. And so it sounds a little bit like it might have been at least partially.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair to say. So, well, I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to do this. I had to do that. My responsibilities included this and that, but wasn't that. It's like, then why are we talking about it, Don? Listen, here's the ups and downs of it. Don Waddell played a very important role for the Carolina Hurricanes. And there are certain roles that need to be replaced with the next GM that Don Waddell was fulfilling, obviously, with Tom Dundon, their owner. Part of that seems like, and I have a quote here from that same introductory press conference. Chip Alexander, the News and Observer, tweeted it out. Part of the thing you're going to have to be able to do as the GM of the Carolina Hurricanes is get along with extremely well with Tom Dundon, the owner. Here's the quote that I mentioned from Don Waddell's introductory Columbus press conference. Tom and I are on good terms. This meaning Tom Dundon. Tom and I are on good terms. I used to talk to him 8 to 10 times a day when I worked for him. I still talk to him a few times a day when I don't work for him. It's all good. End of quote. So that started spurring me down this path. Eric Tulsky is the interim GM for the Carolina Hurricanes. Since Don Waddell, the last 5 days, he's been the interim GM of the Carolina Hurricanes. When I hear interim, I hear a second word, audition, right? When you're the interim GM, part of it is, let's see what you would do if you were running the show. No different than an interim head coach, right? If an interim head coach takes over and immediately goes 10-0 in their next 10 games, they're probably getting the job. But the problem for Tulsky is they're in the middle of an offseason that hasn't even really begun yet. So how can he go 10-0 to prove that it should be his job? Well, it sounds like he can call Tom Dundon a lot. He can get along with Tom. So 8 to 10 times a day, maybe you don't start there, but check in with him 5 to 6 times a day. The other thing I think he might want to do, and this is where I say, like, Don Waddell was very good at certain things for the Carolina Hurricanes, and one of them is connections, right? He has a strong Rolodex in the NHL. He began his NHL career. He had been the IHL. He had bounced around, obviously was a player. Mm-hmm. He began his NHL career in 1997 with the Red Wings as an assistant GM. Since then, he's been in front offices all across the league. 10 years with the Carolina Hurricanes. He has friends. He has people that'll answer the phone for him. He has people that'll give him the insight. Hey, we're thinking about trading so-and-so. Have you heard anything about this other team? Don't tell him you heard it from me, Don, but here you go. That's important in athletics, right? There's only so many teams in professional sports, okay? It's not endless opportunities. It's not, if you don't want to sell me the product, I'll go somewhere else. If they don't want to, they don't want to, they don't want to. There's only 30 teams. And of the players that you might want to acquire in a trade or in free agency or whatever it is, there might only be 2 or 3. You need to have good relationships with everybody. And even if you're not best friends with everybody, they need to answer your phone. They need to respect you. They need to not give you the runaround. They need to not think you're going to be pushed around. So if I'm Eric Tulsky, right, if I'm this interim GM and it's my dream to be a GM of an NHL franchise, and I want in this interim period to prove to Tom Dundon that I can be the guy, I'm calling in as many favors as I can. And what I mean by that is I'm trying to get a front office executive from every team in the league on the phone at some point before I talk to Tom Dundon the next time, right? Like, hey, so I was talking with the fill in the blank GM of the Blues. I was talking, I was chatting with the assistant GM of the Kraken. I was, hey Tom, sorry, I missed your last call. I was on the phone with the president of hockey operations of the Canucks. I want him to know that you don't have to bring in the hockey lifer, the mover and the shaker, to pair with me, the numbers guy. Again, in this scenario, I'm Eric Tulsky, who everybody says and everybody agrees, pretty good with the analytics of the game. But I don't want anybody to think I can't do both, right? I don't think, you need to bring in somebody who has everyone's phone number and who golfs with everybody else in the front office meetings or whatever it is. That's what I think Eric Tulsky can be doing in order to solidify his position as the GM of the Carolina Hurricanes. Because it doesn't, like, it is a two-hand job, right? If Tulsky can identify every single player they should trade for, if Tulsky can identify every single free agent they should sign, but no GM is willing to work with him in a trade and no agent wants to work with him in a free agency signing, then all you have is this list of wishes that never come true. So you also, his task is he needs to prove that he can do the Don Waddell kind of the other thing, right? Be a little charming. I know charming might not be the first word that pops with Don Waddell, but he was, right? He was good with a quip. He was disarming. He could make a joke. He'd make you feel like you were being honest. He was being honest with you. Whether he was revealing the whole truth or not. When he'd come on this show, me and Dennis were actually just talking about it the other day. Most of the time, as soon as he hung up, I would look at Dennis and go, wow, he was really open about that.
Yeah.
Wow, he really gave us a lot on the trade or the idea, the whatever. That's a gift. That's a skill. Controlling the room. Matter of fact, I haven't really seen anything negative said about Don Waddell since he decided to leave Carolina. There's a lot of sad to see him go, but here's an awesome story about how he made my kid's day. Oh, it's sad he had to leave, but did a lot of good. Like, there's a lot of the positive memories. That's what Eric Tolsky needs to prove. That he can be the charismatic face of the franchise. Front office edition. Rod's going to be Rod. You're not going to really out like Carolina Hurricanes charisma Rod. But the front office edition of whatever that is still something you can strive for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is at times going to be really hot in the next couple of months, and that's where my partners over at Window Nation want to help you out. I'm somebody, if someone's going to come work on my house, right, if I'm going to invite people into my home where my family lives, I'm going to need to trust you. Window Nation, you can trust. Justin, their local sales rep, came into my house. He can do the same for you, and he gave my wife and I a presentation. He was looking at our windows. Again, the trust element. He'd look at our windows. Keep in mind, he's trying to sell us windows, and he would say, no, actually, that window's looking good. Oh, look, that seal is strong. Oh, look, it's not deteriorating here. And just that gives you such credibility, right? We've all dealt with the different people in different industries where you could have the brand newest, nicest model of whatever they're trying to sell. They'll come in and go, oh, that's trash. You need one of ours. It wasn't like that. It was, hey, our windows, meaning Window Nation's windows, can lower your energy bill and raise the cost of your house for these reasons. You're going to see the most benefit on these windows. He knew where the sun rose and sun set in relation to my house. So he said, I bet you that room gets real hot. I said, yes, it does. He said, we can fix that. I bet you upstairs, those back windows, I bet you those are the ones that your dog lays in front of because it gets real toasty. I said, yes, he does. He said, we can fix that. We can make it so those rooms are more usable in the heat. Check them out. Give them a call. Window Nation. They have their semi-annual sale going on right now, by the way, which means 50% off all window styles, plus 0 interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus if you schedule your appointment for the no obligation, completely free consultation this week. So if you schedule the appointment this week, there's an additional bonus on top of 50% off all window styles and 0 interest for 5 years. The number to call, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or you can visit them online at windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com to schedule. All right, the next question in our series of 99 questions about the college football season is coming up next, and it's about pressure-making diamonds. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Do you think it's fair to say that regardless, Anthony Edwards has already taken that moniker, face of the league, and run with it? I guess when I think about it, I think of regardless of the matchup, is this person who I'm going to revolve my night around? Am I going to say, oh, Luka's playing, I need to make sure that I'm sitting down to watch this game? Because
No.
I feel that way about Ant.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Grab a frosty mug and try the newest flavor from Bluebell, A&W Root Beer Float Ice Cream. A creamy vanilla-flavored ice cream swirled together with an A&W Root Beer flavored sherbet. A new way to enjoy your favorite root beer float.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Walgreens and all Lowe's food stores.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions about the college football season. Started at 99 days before the college football season. We're well within that now, but we're doing a question a day. Today's question looks at coaches under pressure. 3 coaches in the triangle in the ACC. Which coach is under the most pressure this year? Because I overthink everything, I've ranked the 3. I didn't just choose one. I put them in order.
All right, fair.
We'll start with the least pressure.
Okay.
Manny Diaz.
Yeah, new guy.
New coaches. It used to be you get like a 3-year learning curve where it's like now it's like a year and 4 games.
Used to.
But a year and 4 games is longer than 1 year, so you're good.
Hey, look at that.
This year, good, bad, or indifferent, as long as there's flashes, as long as there's something positive and it's not a complete disaster, you're pretty much going to be okay. Now, I do think people, particularly Duke fans, Duke boosters, and that sort of thing, really like the trajectory of the program under Mike Elko, and they're going to want to build on that. But I think even the most ardent fans realize with a coaching change comes expectations have to be slightly lowered, and with Riley Leonard transferring out and going to Notre Dame, there's going to be that transition also. So least Manny Diaz.
All right.
Middle, kind of second.
Okay.
Mac Brown.
Okay.
His legacy is super secured. I just think it's hard Once you have a national championship ring, once you've had the Hall of Fame career, I think it's really difficult to be the coach under the most pressure when at any point in time you can go, fine, I'll retire, and it doesn't change your legacy at all. He wants to win, don't get me wrong, and he's all in to win, and he's going to be building the program to win and all of that. But it just doesn't change the like long term of his career much. He's secure. And again, when you lose a guy like Drake May and you're replacing it with a quarterback competition, I feel like there's some realistic fans out there that go, yeah, you're probably not going to be as good as you were last year.
There also might be some that say, hey, wait, you went from Sam Howell, NFL quarterback, Drake May, NFL quarterback. Who is that next guy? Like, who's the next in the pipeline? And also, you didn't reach expectations even when you had those guys. So what can we actually expect from you this year?
Yeah, and that's where the little bit of pressure does come from, the whole underachieving thing.
Sure.
Which is why you're in the middle and you're not third. Most pressure, though, Dave Doran, NC State. There is pressure that comes with going all in. This is very much a chips-in-the-middle season for NC State. They've really gotten after it in the transfer portal. They seems to have fixed the things that were holding them back last year. They had the Robert and Nye kind of growing pains that they've went through, and I don't know. It's here's where the pressure comes from. You can't point to anything and say that's probably the reason they're not going to win. And that's a really dangerous place to be, right? I talk about this. Anytime you play golf with somebody, there's one person in the group. What do they do before the first tee? Man, my back's really been acting up. You know what? I just got my clubs re-gripped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a little more damp out here than you were thinking. I
shouldn't have that popcorn.
And it's you do that before the round even starts. So that way, if you're playing bad 6 holes in, you're like, yeah, I knew my back was a little tight. I was expecting to play dry conditions on the course. The dampness is really messing with my mind.
It's really been a while since I played.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to the range the way I wanted to. NC State doesn't have any of that, right? There's nothing before the season that you can start already. It's like, yeah, the offensive line. Oh, you mean the offensive line that you boosted in the transfer portal and returned a bunch of guys for? The ones that you got a 2-year starter from Notre Dame at? Oh, the wide receivers really, we're going to need them to step up. Oh, you mean the ones that already have one of the best returning wide receivers in the country in Casey Concepcion, a 5-star transfer in Noah Rogers, another solid transfer with ACC experience in Wesley Grimes, not to mention a couple of veterans returning and 3 studs straight out of high school recruits that are top 300 recruits in the country. All right, yeah, that's probably not something we can lean on. And you could go position by position really all the way through the team. And maybe it's not perfect, but there's a lot of very, very, very good. So, to keep the conveyor belt rolling for NC State, I think they need to win. And it's close to like you need a college football playoff appearance. Because if you get, I've made this reference in the past, but if you get your boosters to give more money than they've ever given to a name, image, and likeness collective, to go ahead and buy the best transfers you possibly can, the number 1 tight end, one of the number 1 wide receivers, one of the number 1 offensive linemen, one of the number 1 quarterbacks, and then you go out and lose, it's going to be really hard to get everybody to go all in again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be hard for everyone to buy right back into, like, wait a second, you told us that last year, and we didn't get the results that we wanted.
Meanwhile, if you do win large, I'm talking ACC championship, maybe a college football playoff, then it's the proof is in the pudding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's you gave us money, look what we did. Give us money again, we'll go do that again. And you can start up the conveyor belt, right? Think of it like an investment firm. I don't know, you're a new investment firm. I'll give you $1,000. 6 months, they come back and give you $1,500. All right, well, let's give you $2,000 this time. Bring them back $3,000 in 8 months. All right, let's give you $10,000 now. Eventually, all right, I want you managing my whole portfolio because you keep showing the returns. Meanwhile, I give you $1,000. You come back 2 months later and say, didn't get you anything for it. Can I have another $1,000? I'm probably going to go no.
Yeah, probably not.
That's where NC State is right now. They've had the commitment. They've had the donations. Everybody went all in. You have to bring them back some profits if you want them to reinvest and give you more. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. And it's also like the coaching thing, right? Like, if it's pretty obvious you got all the talent you wanted. You handpicked it from all across the country. Now you have to coach them up. Now you have to scheme them up. And that's on you, right? We know Grayson McCall can be a college quarterback. We've seen him do it for the last 15 years at Coastal Carolina. We know Justin Joly is a really good tight end. We saw him do it at UConn. Feel me? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Last couple of days here of the month of May. Month of May is National Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. By the way, I always think about safety when I ride my motorcycle. Took my motorcycle into the station today here at work. And I was actually talking with a coworker of mine earlier today about, hey, do you ever get scared? Do you ever get nervous when you're on the bike and you got cars and everything around you? Like, how do you work around that? And I started telling her, explaining all the things that I do as a rider to stay safe out on the road, where I position myself in lane and all the other things and make sure I have the proper gear, bikes in proper working order, and all these other things. And it was enlightening a bit to a coworker about all the things that us as motorcycle riders need to do in order to be safe. But we also know that there's risks out there when we're on the road. And if you are in an accident, this is why you got to contact Law Tigers. You call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company, they just want to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with Daron Vaught, USA Baseball, to talk a little bit about the college baseball postseason, which is getting ready to really dive into full swing, so stick around.
If you love baseball as much as we do,
play ball!
Then you'll want to tune into 99.9 The Fan on Sunday nights this summer.
This one way back to left. Forget about it. It's gone.
Atlanta to Philly, St. Louis to L.A. Major League Baseball's best matchups will come to life.
Ground ball diving stop at third by Turner from his knees. He throws on to first and gets him.
Sunday Night Baseball on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Norse Brewing Company and by Baker Roofing.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, it's bow time. So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? This is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, and move again, all pain-free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
This is Heather O'Reilly, and I am so excited about the soccer schedule this summer. Come see me hit the pitch June 5th through 10th at TST, along with some of the biggest names in soccer, sports, and entertainment. TST will feature 118 matches and 56 teams competing for $1 million at WakeMed Soccer Park. Tickets start at $38 and are selling fast. Visit thetournament.com/soccer while they're still available. Following TST, Man City will play Celtic at UNC July 23rd.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we're at Athens Drive Magnet High School, and we're here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Connor O'Toole.
What does winning this award mean to you?
I think it means a lot. Past 4 years, I've put in a lot of work in athletics and in school. I'm glad to see it's paying off, but also all my friends have helped me along the way to elevate my game.
You're involved in a service organization. What kind of impact does this work have in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, so it's not just about getting those service hours in. For example, for Science National Honor Society, when we're taking those invasive plants out of the lake, that's a lake that we run every day at practice. And it's just good to see the community cleaned up, and it's helping everyone around it as well.
Having Connor on our teams has really just meant a consistent, reliable leader and somebody who kids are drawn to. So you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right the first time. And then other kids will follow his lead, really in anything.
He's always pushing us to be a better person, not just on the track, not just during cross country, but, you know, in school and everything.
It's just that family feeling. We're all working together. For friends, we practice together, we train together, so that means we're getting better together. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, having so much support.
Such a hard-working kid, and I love him to death. You know, he motivates me every day and pushes me to my limits.
Congratulations, Connor.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now in the Heister Automotive Group hotline, Daron Vaught, USA Baseball, as well as a few other publications, covering really everything baseball related. We're going to focus in on the college side of things. Daron, thank you for taking the time. Which regional are you headed to? Are you going to one? Because, you know, I know a lot of the schools you cover, they're kind of spread out all over this region.
Yeah, it's still to be determined. I think I'm going to end up in Chapel Hill on Sunday. I do have some high school state championship broadcasts Friday, Saturday. But Chapel Hill maybe setting up to be an LSU UNC final for that regional. That's pretty compelling. So I think that's where I'm going to end up.
How much of a kind of bad luck strike is it that UNC gets to host and then they look at and they see LSU coming to town, one of the betting favorites to win the whole darn thing?
Yeah, and you know, in terms of them being one of the betting favorites, I think it's because of their recent hot streak. Grand scheme of things throughout the entirety of the season, it's not like they've been a top 10 or maybe even 20 team, but it's a team that people are familiar with, a program anyways that people know that was there last year. And I think locally the daunting thing is, TD, like Tommy White started his career at NC State, right? Raleigh fell in love with him. He exits and then knocks off Wake Forest, breaking yet another NC school's hearts last year. North Carolina, I think, is looking across to the opposite dugout in that game thinking, oh, man, we've seen this happen to others like us before, not again. And I think that's mainly the daunting thing. LSU's super talented, but keep in mind, North Carolina has been one of the most consistent teams in the country all season long. They've got a lineup that's as dynamic as anybody's, up and down. They can score a lot of runs. I do think it's a little bit of a tough draw. You're not rewarding someone for that kind of consistency as the number 4 national seed by placing LSU there, as opposed to, what you would get if you seeded things out 1 through 64 and kind of serpentined it through each regional. But that's the nature of the beast. They place the 2 and 3 seeds wherever it's most compelling, wherever it's most convenient. There are a lot of considerations when they do that.
Vance Honeycutt, when we're talking UNC, right? 20 homers, or more than 20 homers, more than 20 stolen bases, kind of an exclusive club. Do they have the star power outside of him to go on one of these runs? Because, as you mentioned, right, like the Tommy Tanks, some of the recent World Series runs we've seen from the eventual winners, they have kind of the superstars, if you will, to hang their hats on.
Yeah, I think they do. And, Chase Burns, for instance, at Wake Forest, who transferred from Tennessee, is not the only notable SEC to ACC transfer. There's a guy at North Carolina who came in from Georgia named Parks Harbor. He, Honeycutt, and then a guy named Alberto Osuna. Actually, at the beginning of the season, they started, North Carolina did, as the only team in all of college baseball with 3 guys in their lineup with 40 or more career home runs, which is pretty impressive, and those 3 do it. The team, top to bottom, hits a bunch of home runs. I really like Casey Cook, their left fielder, who's had a phenomenal season for them. Just a few home runs last year while hitting well for average. This year, the average is good also, but he's ticked up the power numbers, and he's part of that really good defensive outfield that has Honeycutt there in the middle. Anthony D'Onofrio is another one. He's the other one. He's a transfer that came in as well. So, yeah, I think top to bottom, they do have enough. And again, this is a team that does it a number of ways. You mentioned the home runs by Honeycutt and others, the stolen bases by Honeycutt and others. They can beat you with big flies. They can beat you with small ball. They've got a lot to use offensively.
Daron Vaught, USA Baseball, joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Daron, when the decision on which region you were going to go to, why wasn't Durham an option? Why isn't the ACC champion a possible stop and destination for you?
It's a good question, one we've been pondering for as many days as since the selection show on Monday, right? Mm-hmm. I had someone ask me earlier today if I was going to head over to Greenville, North Carolina, and I think that would have been the substitute. Look, I think Duke, by all indications, and I realize that our projections at D1 Baseball often are the indications that people speak about when they speak that way. By all indications, they were on the cusp of a top 16 seed prior to us even getting to Charlotte, to the ACC Baseball Championship last week. They win the whole thing, and they're still not in the top 16. Look, Greenville is a site where these things have happened before. Mm-hmm. It's a site where the environment's going to be raucous. The fan base is going to show up. It is a consideration. I think the committee would never say this, that it's going to look and sound good and look and sound familiar. And for someone who's as invested in the college game as I am, this is kind of where I become torn, because ECU didn't even get to the finals of an American Athletic Conference tournament, which is far and away worse than the talent level of the ACC. But again, I understand that Clark LeClaire Stadium is going to be hopping. It's going to look awesome. It's going to be good for the game. And simultaneously, I understand that it was not at all fair to Duke. And those renovations at Jack Coombs Field aren't set to happen for another few weeks. Those were scheduled to be after this season happens. And, maybe then Duke will get its first ever hosting regional there after renovations happen and it's a little bit more fitting of a facility for such a thing. I mean, you can talk about the non-conference strength of schedule too. That's a number that has been pointed at specifically by the committee in the aftermath. I think we're fooling ourselves if we think that facility doesn't matter. And then Tim, just to sort of put a bow on it and be fair to the committee, Mississippi State was also in that mix for a top 16 seed. They didn't get it. So if it truly is 100% the scene, the environment, why would Starkville not get one? I understand the hypocrisy there, but I do think I do think it's something that was considered.
And I've covered I was covering ODU a couple years ago where they had a similar deal where their stadium, kind of point blank, we were told that it's not good enough to host a regional, so they had to go on the road. So this one maybe not as point blank, but it's an angle on it. We're talking with Daron Vaught, USA Baseball, D1 Baseball as well, which you just heard him mention. Daron, I was just on ESPN.com, and they have Wake Forest with 3 projected top 15 picks, which, right, they were Wake Forest coming into the season. They were top-ranked everything. Then they're 8th in the ACC. You kind of hinted it with LSU, right? Like a team outside of the hosts that could go on a run. Is Wake Forest just a sleeping giant amongst teams that would have to go on the road for a regional?
Yeah, I think
sleeping giant might not even be the right way to put it, because no one's sleeping on Wake Forest, but just
no, because
they're Wake Forest, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, because they're kind of the it team as of the past couple of years, right? Preseason number 1. There were a lot more holes than people thought of coming into the season. They should have been the number 1 team in the preseason just because of the talent that they have back. You mentioned the top 3 guys. Chase Burns wowed at the ACC baseball championship in his lone start against North Carolina. 6 innings, 15 punch outs, maybe the best he's looked all year. He bumped 100 miles per hour a handful of times. Nick Kurtz wowed at the ACC baseball championship. He ultimately hit the game winner, 2-run shot in extra innings. He's that good. Seaver King is a versatile, scrappy talent that I love. He's personally one of my favorite players in the ACC. But they had some holes where, look, this is a team that had double-digit guys drafted last year. It's a testament to the program, but also that means you're going to have to figure some things out after those guys depart your program. They were big, important pieces. So as much talent as they had, the ACC is very talented, and it took a while for them to figure out exactly who they were. But as of the last month or so, they are who we thought they were going to be. They also had some injuries in the bullpen as well. And, we all know that just like in college football, you hashtag college kickers when things don't go a team's way. You could easily do the same thing with hashtag college bullpens when it comes this time of year. So the bullpen, having that solidified is a huge piece for them. I expect – look, Greenville's not going to be an easy regional for them, but if they get through that, I mean, the sky's the limit for Wake Forest. This is easily a team that could make it again to the College World Series final.
Daron Vaught, before we let you go, we actually have NC State baseball on our network this Friday and through the regionals, and we'll be tracking them as far as play-by-play kind of throughout their run. 16 one-run games this year. They've won 11 of them. There's 2 ways to look at that, right? Either they're the most clutch team and they're comfortable in close games, or one-run games are a coin flip, and if a few of those go the other way, we're not as excited. Which side do you fall on for the Wolfpack?
They show up in big moments. This is a team that led the country in walk-off wins in the regular season. Those are wrapped up in those one-run victories, of course. It's a team that's since the beginning of the season, I've loved their balance of youth and experience, especially. And you're starting to see that come into play, right? It's the time of the year where there's this threshold where it's either the freshman wall and guys who are less experienced have now played in what is the longest season they've ever played in. So their play starts to diminish a little bit. Or you could say they're no longer freshmen, using my air quotes, and they start to figure it out. For the majority of the young guys on NC State's team, it's the latter. They're figuring it out. This is a team that quietly put together one of the best regular season resumes, not just in the ACC, but in the country with some of their series victories. They just find ways to win. And I really like their chances this weekend of winning their region and advancing to a super regional.
All right, I lied. I have one more for you. I know you're a North Carolina guy. What's one team from the state that you can see making it all the way to Omaha? Most likely, right? If you want to get 3 and then pick one.
I have thought and said a lot this season. I have considered Duke to be the most Omaha-capable team in the ACC. And I know they've had sort of a weird season. They had some series, including the one in Raleigh against NC State, where they look like the better of the 2 teams for the majority of the series, but they drop a couple of the games and lose the series. They've had some health concerns as well. I like Duke, especially coming off of them running the table in Charlotte and winning the ACC baseball championship. I mentioned bullpens earlier. I don't think there's a bullpen more daunting than theirs in the entire country. And they can hit a ton as well. So I like the Blue Devils most of the North Carolina teams.
Daron, we appreciate you taking the time, and enjoy the state championships, and we'll keep following along for your coverage.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
That's Daron Vaught. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow him on D1 Baseball, USA Baseball. He's covering the sport for a whole bunch of different publications, and we appreciate his coverage. By the way, during that interview, I did mention NC State Baseball Regionals Friday at 7 right here on 99.9 The Fan. Their regional run will all be here on 99.9 The Fan, and hoping to bring you more coverage as they hopefully continue on.
As we said yesterday, if you're just looking for something fun to do over the weekend, like if you're a baseball fan, go to a regional. It's a good time. There's options. There's state, there's Carolina, there's ECU, plenty of options around. Go have fun. Go have fun. Take your kids. Enjoy it. It's supposed to be nice weather. Go enjoy it.
Before we move on here, I want to remind everybody, let everybody know, at 4:33 we have the Storm Tracker.
Yes.
What that means is the latest Canes rumors this offseason is going to be filled with a bunch of them, so we want to let you know kind of exactly when you can expect the rumor season to be taken care of. 4:33, today's will have to do with Martin Necas, one of the biggest rumor magnets of the young offseason.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to have an idea of who's interested, where he's going, what he might bring back, what the Canes should do, and we're going to try to decipher some of that. Storm Tracker at 4:33, so that's 4:33 p.m. Coming up in the next hour. Right now, I'm going to do something that I make fun of others for doing.
What's that?
I'm going to be the old man yelling at the clouds. I'm going to be the old man yelling at kids to get off my lawn, talking about it used to be better in my day. You can change everything about college, the business of college sports. I believe without changing the soul of college sports, right? I think players can get paid. I think players can transfer. I think they can drive nicer cars. I think they can have a little bit of spending money. I think you can have all of that without changing the soul of college sports. I saw an article today that made me question if the soul and the spirit of college sports are going to be ripped out of its chest. Saw an article on ESPN.com that said, I forget the exact headline, but the gist of the article was this: SEC coaches want to preserve walk-ons. And I read the article, and there's Kirby Smart, there's Mike Elko, there's so many of the SEC coaches saying they want to preserve the essence of walk-ons. They want walk-ons to continue being a thing into the future of college sports. And I read this article and I was going, I didn't even know they were at risk. I didn't even.
When did this happen?
Why are we advocating for their preservation when I didn't know they were endangered?
Yeah.
It's like you go by a protest and they're like, save the pigeons. I'm like, there's no way the pigeons can be going extinct. I see a billion of them.
Do we need a wildlife preserve?
What is going on here? But then you start thinking and you read some of the details in the article. Walk-ons are endangered, everybody. And by the way, those of you that don't know what a walk-on is, in college there are scholarship athletes, they have their school paid for. Then there are walk-on athletes who pay their own way but get to be a part of the team, right? Roster limits are likely coming to college sports for this reason. Now that teams are able to pay players, right? The landmark ruling and settlement that came just a couple days ago said that teams can pay, meaning schools, the actual athletic programs, can pay up to 20-something million to their players in a revenue-sharing deal. Well, what about this? Hey, we want you to come walk on to our university, Mr. 5-star recruit, Mrs. High 4-star recruit, whatever it is. But listen, it won't really be a walk-on because we're going to give you $100,000 cash every year. So that'll cover your tuition and then another $50,000. All right, cool. That makes sense. Well, then a walk-on isn't really a walk-on anymore, right? So a team, pick your super-duper, superstar, super blue blood program, Alabama football. What's stopping them from having 150 football players who 85 of them are on scholarship, and the other however many are not paying their way either because they're getting $300,000 NIL deals, with part of that covering their tuition? There's a 5-star transfer right now. I believe he just left Colorado, went to Florida. He's going to be technically a walk-on this year because they didn't have enough scholarships to offer him when he was in the portal, but he's easily going to have that money covered in NIL. So you throw a roster limit on it. You say, all right, 85. That's how many scholarships you get. That's how many players you can have on the roster. That eliminates walk-ons to prevent those big schools from getting 150, 160. I mean, you go back to like the early days of college football, like the 1930s or whatever, like Army would have 250 people on their team. Because why not? Walk-ons are the spirit of college sports. They're the only ones there just because they want to be there. And, by the way, in the interest of full disclosure, I started my career at Delaware as a walk-on. So I have a special pride in the walk-ons. So I did some Googling. J.D. Simpson was a captain of Duke's 2001 national championship basketball team. He was a walk-on. So he's not even someone that went on to earn a scholarship. He's not well, I'll list some names here of guys that became superstars after starting as a walk-on. J.D. Simpson, I think they said he scored 41 total points in his career. But he was a key part of that national championship team in his leadership. Justin Hardy was a walk-on wide receiver at ECU. By his second year there, was an all-conference pick, ended up finishing his career as a mid-round draft pick, and finished as the NCAA's all-time leader in receptions, a walk-on. Jordy Nelson at Kansas State, a walk-on. J.J. Watt at Wisconsin, a walk-on. Clay Matthews at USC, a walk-on. Baker Mayfield walked on twice.
That's right. He did walk on twice.
He walked on at Texas Tech, became the Big 12 offensive freshman of the year. They still didn't want to put him on scholarship, so he left and walked on at Oklahoma, became the Heisman Trophy winner after they eventually put him on scholarship.
First overall pick.
Those are great stories. And listen, I understand why, because I get that the big schools can bring on walk-ons and have NIL and revenue sharing and cover all their expenses, and you don't want to have 150 scholarship guys on the team. I get it. But I don't have to like it. Like, when you're watching a game, you don't care. Like, if you're watching your favorite team, you're going to root for your favorite team regardless. But if you're watching, like, you're not a Big Ten fan and you're watching the big noon kickoff, and you're watching Indiana and Illinois just because that's the game that's on, and the announcer casually goes, this running back just made that catch, started his career as a walk-on, I'm like, boom, there's my guy. Illinois running back number 28, that's who I'm rooting for. Number 32, number 47, right? Walk-ons always get the bad numbers. He's a quarterback. He's number 37. Walk-ons get last choice. Those are the stories of college football. You could argue they're the only ones doing it completely and totally for the right reason. I know guys, I had teammates that were on scholarship and playing and showing up just to keep their scholarship because they didn't want to pay for school, didn't want to have any debt, but they didn't love the game. Played at Delaware. They didn't love Delaware. They didn't care about our fight song. They didn't. They were just there because, they were good in Pop Warner. So somebody said they should play in middle school. They were good in middle school. Someone said they should play in high school. Then college coaches started showing up saying, we'll pay for your college. Walk-ons are there because they love it. You get rid of walk-ons, you just lose some of the secret sauce that college sports has. The pixie dust that makes it awesome.
And also, as well, for a lot of people, being a walk-on is part of their college experience. They understand, I'm not good enough to go out here and play, and that's fine. I get to be part of a team. I still get to put pads on, stay in shape, whatever it is, and just get to enjoy it. I still get to maybe travel when we go to a bowl game, and I just get to enjoy that and make that part of my college experience. And when I graduate, I hang up the cleats and I keep moving with my life.
Yep.
That's the case for a lot of guys.
A ton. Or if you want to coach.
And girls.
If you want to coach.
Oh, it's a great way to get into it.
You just want to be around a college program. You want to coach. Dabo Sweeney started his career as a walk-on. I believe Will Muschamp started his career as a walk-on.
As well.
Like it's a whole thing. And I don't know, this is me being everything I don't like in sports media. This is me presenting a problem that I desperately want fixed and I don't have a solution. Could you sign up to be a walk-on if you sign a pledge saying you won't accept NIL? But I don't think that's right either. Because what if you go out there and have a 3-touchdown day as a walk-on? I want you to be able to turn around and be in the local auto dealership commercial that Sunday and record it and get a couple $100,000. Why not? Why not? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for DraftKings Sportsbook. The NBA playoffs are all the way heated up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down. Pay attention to the matchups, right? Derek Lively, one of the best big man defenders from Duke for the Mavs, didn't play in Game 4, right? If you were thinking, and I wasn't thinking this far ahead, so maybe you can do better than I would. Guess what? If their best big man defender isn't out, maybe you would expect a big game from the big guys for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns has a big game. If you would have been ahead of the thinking there, could have won yourself a couple bets. If you're new to this whole thing when it comes to sports betting and you don't want to get into the player props that I just described, or maybe you're a little nervous to dive into that deep end, try something super simple to get started. Try betting on something like a team to win. Pick the team you like to win, go to the app, select your team, place your first bet. It's that simple. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, that's TIMD, with no spaces, and you will get $200 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5, only on DraftKings. That's code TIMD, TIMD, with no spaces. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. We'll take a break. When we come back, there is something confusing happening in the NFL this offseason. How does it affect the Panthers? Stick around.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRAL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
McDonald's presents Burger Reviews by Hamburglar. Today's review, the best ever Big Mac burger. Take it away, Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, there's more special sauce in every bite.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble indeed, my friend.
Save on a Big Mac and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus get any size Diet Dr. Pepper for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Available at most restaurants in this area. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, want to test drive the Rogue? And I'm like, let's go. We're driving when Dave says, check out the VC turbo engine. I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Dave goes, if you think that's cool, watch this. Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy. Dave mentions, these new cars are going fast. And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Get up to $1,000 Memorial Day bonus cash on select 2024 Rogue trims. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city 34 highway to 30 city 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. $1,000 Memorial Day bonus cash on 2024 Rogue Platinum. $500 Memorial Day bonus cash on 2024 Rogue SB and SL trims. Available on lease or purchase from new dealer stock. Contact dealer for details. Ends 5/31/24.
Sanja loves to bake, but her feet, they were throbbing. Then one day, I found a solution. Arch supports from the Good Feet store. Have foot pain? Good Feet could help.
You too can live the life you love with Arch Supports.
from the Good Feed store.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Feeling comfortable out there this afternoon. Our dew point or humidity is on the low side. Temperatures are warm in the mid-80s. We'll see sunshine for the rest of the day and clear skies tonight. Tonight, our temperatures drop nicely, though. We'll see an overnight low of 58 and then 81 tomorrow under sunny skies. The humidity remains low.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 411 points to 38,441. Market update brought to you by FCSeries.com. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle with TST stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at FCSeries.com/Carolina and use the code TRIANGLE.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It takes a lot for me to just kind of throw my hands up and go, what the heck is going on here? But yesterday, Nico Collins, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, got paid. 3 years, $72 million, 50-something guaranteed.
Like 52. Who's counting at that point, right?
What's the difference between 50 million and 52 million?
2 million.
There it is.
I think they said max value could be up to $75 million for the contract.
Now, it's not weird to me that Nico Collins got paid. Nico Collins had a very good season last year. And when you have a young, good wide receiver and they seem to vibe with a young quarterback like C.J. Stroud, all right, fine. Now, Collins has only had one season of more than 500 receiving yards, and he's going into year 4. But the 1 year that he had with C.J. Stroud, there was something there. I don't know if it's weird that he got paid. What is weird is the wide receiver market as a whole. A lot of guys have gotten paid a lot of money this offseason, and not just the free agents. Like Calvin Ridley got paid a lot, but he was a free agent. right? So we got to hit the market, and that's when you're supposed to cash in. There's a lot of guys that got paid that weren't going to hit the market this offseason. And there's an even better group of wide receivers that are holding out to make more money than they know what to do with. Wide receivers that are not at OTAs, assumed for contract reasons, include T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson. That darn near could be the Pro Bowl wide receivers.
I think they are, actually.
This year, probably not T. Higgins. Everybody else, I would assume, was. Wide receivers that got contract extensions that were not free agents this offseason. A.J. Brown, big money. Devontae Smith, big money. Jerry Jeudy, for him, big money. Michael Pittman, big money. Amon-Ra St. Brown, more money than any wide receiver in NFL history. All got big, fat extensions this year without hitting the open market. Now, there are some that are hypothesizing that with all of these good wide receivers, and you look at the last couple of drafts, it seems like good wide receivers are coming out of college at a higher rate, just plug-and-play guys that are ready to be impactful early. This year's draft, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors, Xavier Legette, Brian Thomas Jr. Like, there's more and more. Ricky Pearsall, more and more wide receivers going. I mean, we're just talking first-rounders there.
That's 7 guys drafted in the first round.
You start going second and third, which are expected contributors. There's a ton of wide receivers coming out of the college ranks that are good enough to play in the NFL. Some are saying there's a bubble that's about to burst here, and wide receivers are about to get running backed, which means why would we pay T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson $5 million more per year than some of these other guys are getting, $7 million more per year than some of these other guys are getting, when we could just go get a adequate replacement on the cheap as a rookie? That's why running backs aren't getting paid, because it's always like, well, we could just go get a 5th-round rookie, and they'll do solid. Maybe not elite, but they'll do solid, and that's all we need.
They'll be good.
And we can make up the difference in value with wherever else we spend that money.
I mean, how many times do the Pittsburgh Steelers draft a wide receiver in the 2nd and 3rd round, and they end up being like 1,000-yard receivers, and they just churn out to the next one?
There are a couple teams that are unbelievable 2nd-round wide receiver drafters. The Packers. Donald Driver, 2nd-rounder. Jordy Nelson, 2nd-rounder. Randall Cobb, 2nd-rounder. Devontae Adams, 2nd-rounder. It's unbelievable. So why would you pay, A.J. Brown 30-something million per year when that's happening? That's the one way it goes. The other way is you recognize that T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson are right, and if they hold out, they'll get $35 million a year. And teams see the value. If that's the case, buckle up, Panthers. What if Deontay Johnson? Yesterday we did cop or drop, and one of them was Deontay Johnson has 100 receptions, and I said cop. I said yes. If he has 100 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and say 7 touchdowns, he's in the last year of his contract. He's gonna walk right up to Dan Morgan and say, "Thank you for trading for me. You got to showcase my skills in a contract year. Now, if you want me back, it's going to be $30 million a year." And if you go, well, that's only 1 year of production. Nico Collins, 1 year of production. Vibed with a young quarterback, so it made sense.
Deontay Johnson's put up good seasons already.
For another team.
Well, yeah.
But yes, he actually is much more accomplished than Nico Collins is if Deontay Johnson has a stud year this year.
He's been over 80 plus catches for Deontay Johnson 3 times in his career.
Sounds like Dennis could be his agent.
Not that hard. Hey, this guy's good.
Wide receivers getting paid a boatload of money. We're going to sit out and wait until we can get paid in the open market, which he will be next year.
Yeah. Do you think we are in the process of teams with young rookie quarterback or got rookie contract quarterbacks like what Houston is with C.J. Stroud? Hey, let's pay the wide receiver, and then eventually when our quarterback is really good, okay, we can then just draft the guys and fill in that way and just let those guys walk.
Yes, absolutely. And I actually think it would be a wise career move for someone like Let me think of a good example here, like Justin Jefferson, right? If Justin Jefferson stays in Minnesota, signs a boat, like my guess is $35 million a year for 4 years, and he'll grow with J.J. McCarthy, right? And if J.J. McCarthy, their quarterback who they drafted in the first round this year, if it hits, right, if he ends up being a franchise quarterback, as soon as the money is about to go pay J.J. McCarthy a boatload, Justin Jefferson should go find another rookie quarterback somewhere that was, some eighth grader right now who will be drafted at that point in time and go while they have that rookie deal of quarterback, take up the rest of the cap. Because wide receivers are getting to the point where you can't pay both your quarterback and your wide receiver. It's just Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, these guys, Lamar Jackson, right? These guys, Justin Herbert. What's happening? They are losing their high-priced wide receivers. When Pat Mahomes started getting paid real quarterback money, Tyreek Hill was real out of town. Josh Allen, as he gets paid more and more real quarterback money, Stephon Diggs, out of town. Justin Herbert, as he's getting paid real quarterback money, where's Keenan Allen? Where's Mike Williams? Gone. Lamar Jackson, they tried with a few different. They tried with Odell Beckham Jr. on a big contract. They tried. Now, gone. Who's they replaced with? Low-price veterans and rookie contract guys. Zay Flowers, right? Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs. It's all lower-priced guys. So if the Panthers are getting ready to pay, they got one shot. They can pay Deontay Johnson next year if they want to. After that, they have to start paring guys back because if Bryce Young hits, which I know many of you are going to be in the comments saying, Bryce Young's not going to hit, don't worry about paying him. I get it, but you have to plan for it. If he ends up being a franchise quarterback, he's going to be $50 million a year. You might say, all right, you pay your quarterback $50, that's fine. You may say, all right, paying Deontay Johnson $30 million, that's fine. Paying two guys on your offense $80-something million makes it very difficult everywhere else. That's what everyone's learning. That's why Stephon Diggs is not with the Bills. Keon Coleman is, though. Rookie contract. You see what I'm doing here. Mm-hmm. It's going to get more difficult the more money gets spent on certain positions.
That's probably why I know you mentioned it right after the draft. Dan Morgan moving up to the first round of draft, Xavier Legette, get that fifth year.
Yep.
Get that fifth year.
A little bit of rent control.
Yeah.
One extra year of rent control if he does become a number one wide receiver. Let's be real. If he does, after 3 years, he'll be asking for more money. And it's going to be nice to have that extra year of leverage in negotiations.
Oh, yeah.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox got something for you.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. You want to win a trip to the 84th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? Well, you can. The Law Tigers are giving away the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Just go to stylininSturgis.com to enter. Again, stylininSturgis.com to enter. Prizes include VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort. Custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage. I'll say that again. A custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage. I'm a Harley-Davidson rider. I would love to have a custom Harley, but you can win this. I can't. You can. You just got to go to stylininSturgis.com. Again, not only the VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, a custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage. We're talking sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo by Trask Performance, parts by J&P Cycles, firearms by Magnum Research, jewelry by Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soul E-Bikes. Again, go to stylininSturgis.com to enter today. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. If you're ever in a motorcycle accident, call Law Tigers before you call your insurance. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will continue with Hit It and Quit It, the biggest stories lined up and knocked down, and Storm Tracker, latest Canes rumors at 4:33. All that coming up next. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
I tweeted one out last night. Mike Breen told a story about Walton taking Breen's dad, who served in World War II, to the Midway Museum in San Diego. There were so many great stories about Bill Walton. In so many ways, it was sad that he's gone.
Sure.
But it was almost an uplifting feel to all of it.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Plus, get your application fee waived through May 31st. Flexible online and hybrid classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here. There's a lot to celebrate this month. Graduations, the end of the school year, barbecues, warm weather. I'm doing a little bit of all of that, which is why I trust Zero Res to come in and clean up the mess that all of that makes. Just check out the 3,800 raving customer reviews online with a 4.8 Google rating. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet Zero Resified, starting at just $105, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning while you're at it. Make sure to mention me, Tim from 99.9 The Fan. Book with ease at ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000.
I have done in my career literally thousands of joint replacements.
Meet Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon who now advises patients try all they can do to avoid the knife and consider regenerative medicine.
I myself was able to continue skiing for 10 years after my knees started to be a problem because I accessed regenerative medicine.
Now, after 20 years of study, research, teaching, publications, and clinical experience, Dr. Scheinkup is regarded as one of America's true pioneers.
This is the future of medicine.
Dr. Scheinkup came to QC Kinetics after seeing what they were doing around the country, helping tens of thousands of patients get lasting relief from joint pain with no surgery and no drugs.
QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for Hit It and Quit It ahead of the Storm Tracker, where we talk the latest Canes rumors at 4:33 p.m. But we'll start with Hit It and Quit It. And I'll start with this. The NFL may be done with OTAs.
Maybe the things that we obsess over as sports media people?
Maybe, yeah, first of all, that's going to give us a real dead period in the NFL calendar,
I know, right?
Which I'm not excited about. The offseason in the NFL could be changing. It's an NFLPA proposal, which would basically take away OTAs and mini camps and just replace them with a longer training camp to ramp up to the regular season. Few things. One, I do think it might help with injuries. I think a longer ramp up, more on-field time leading into the, kind of like we used to do in Pop Warner, right? You had to do like a week in helmets, then a week in helmets and shoulder pads, and then eventually you would get to a point where you can actually hit and those sorts of things. Like, I just think a bigger ramp up, trying to go from like laying on your couch for a month to, and not saying that's what they do, but it's hard to get the same intensity at an NFL practice as you would working out by yourself at your high school near home. To go from that to just, here's a preseason game, like the injuries I think are inevitable. So if you can have a longer lead up, I think that helps. There are some unintended side effects, though. The way the calendar is lined up now, the break lines up with most schools' summer break, which means if you're a coach, an executive, an older player, and you have kids that are in school, your time off lines up with their time off, so you get to spend more family time. The way the new thing would work, a lot of your time off would come when your kids are still in school, so you wouldn't have that same break. So I think they'll dislike that, right? I think it's better to be able to go on vacations and stuff and bring your kids with them. The other thing that I find interesting is I think this is a coach's control thing.
Okay.
I think having an OTA or a mini camp every couple weeks allows the coaches to know, like, you're staying in shape, you're doing what we asked, you're learning the things that we're asking you to learn. If you just go from, like, the end of the season all the way till training camp, you have way less of an idea of what they're doing during that long off-season period. And they're just going to show up, and if they're out of shape, it's like, all right, we're out of shape. Season starts in a month and a half. What are you going to do? There's less spot checks, and I don't think coaches that are always control freaks are going to be okay with that.
I also wonder if they're guys that have workout clauses built into their contracts. Basically, you're showing up to OTAs and showing that, hey, I'm maintaining this weight, this art, whatever it is that you put in your contract. I wonder how that's going to be impacted as well. I wonder if there's going to be a compromise where, all right, we'll have one, let's say after the draft, so that we have all your free agents and stuff in, that we're going to have one. Maybe like they'll start the rookie minicamp, but also just one mandatory minicamp early in the offseason, just so everyone gets their playbook. Everyone, a new coach like Canales can establish his culture a little bit. And then you're going to have that longer ramp up here. I wonder if we're going to see some sort of compromise. I don't know. We'll see.
We will, and we'll see if it gets approved. Right now it's an NFL Players Association proposal expected to be made. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
Got him!
Roy Williams. The old Roy Williams. Good old Roy. Good old
I don't know
Roy.
if he'd love being called the old Roy Williams.
Good old Roy Williams. Roy Williams, former UNC basketball coach, at a golf event earlier today. This is actually thanks to our good friends over at WREL and WREL Sports. Had this to say regarding the NCAA and the Power 5 conferences agreeing to a settlement to various lawsuits in the tune of about $2.8 billion being issued out to players, and also for schools now possibly having the ability to pay players directly themselves. Here's what Roy Williams had to say about all of it.
I don't have any thoughts because nobody has any thoughts. It's the biggest bunch of BS I've ever seen in my life. I'm happy that the players are being able to get some more money. I think that's great. But right now what we're doing is reacting to everything instead of making some plans in front. And so I always think those are bad situations, but I'm happy for the players. It's a different game now. It's a completely different era of college basketball and college sports in particular, or basketball in particular. But it's what it is. We got to adjust, and I could still coach today and take those kids out on the court and love what I was doing.
So reactionary, Tim. Claiming the NCAA reactionary? Well, let's be real. The NCAA is always reactionary.
They are, but I don't know if that's first of all, love Roy.
Love Roy.
So get that out of the way. Sounds like he's being a little bit of a problems guy, less of a solutions guy here, which I did earlier today, so I can't exactly knock him for it. How are you not reactionary to, like, court rulings?
Well, I think the reason why we're seeing the changes we are with NIL and stuff is it's a reaction to other things as opposed to, hey, let's be proactive, figure out what's best for college sports as a whole, and let's set a plan in order to get that, as opposed to, well, let's still try and hold on to the way we used to do things and then kind of sort of add this other stuff. Because that's what they're doing.
I mean, I just think it's tough. Like, every day it seems like there's a new twist, a new politician involved, a new ruling, like, I don't know how you plan for all of this, right? If you could see all of this coming, if Roy could see all of this coming, he needs to be on a committee somewhere letting people know, and he probably is. But I'm all in favor of calling the NCAA reactionary because, like you said, they always are. Mm-hmm. They very rarely are proactive. I just don't know how you're proactive in this situation because it's like, oh, we planned for a revenue sharing of $20 million. That's way too specific to be able to plan for. We planned for streaming to become such a big thing that it's going to make our media rights deal obsolete. It's like, I don't know if anyone could have planned for streaming to do what it's doing now. Like, there's some things are difficult to predict. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
You like that? You like that?
The Scripps National Spelling Bee is going on today.
Everyone's favorite event.
You say that with lack of enthusiasm.
I kind of do.
I find those young kids that can spell every word in the dictionary wildly impressive. Can I have a language of origin, please? They're like finger drawing on the back of their name card. Anti-disestablishmentarianism, ANTI. I'm just like, goodness gracious. So anyway, I thought we'd hit you with this one, Dennis.
Okay.
Spell these Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh gosh, I did not expect this coming. Okay.
We'll start with kind of one that I think you'll know, but it's Teuvo Teravainen.
Teravainen. Oh, you just spell last name here?
Yeah, go first name too.
Oh, Teuvo is Teuvo. Teravainen, T-A-R-A.
Ding.
What? Oh,
T-E-R.
T-E-R-V-A-I-N-E-N. What?
T-E-R-A.
T-E-R-A-V-A-I-N-E-N.
There you go.
There it is. I went too fast with it.
Want to go? No, want to try?
Sure, why not?
One of the new guys, Bradley Nadeau.
Nadeau, N-A-D.
Do you not want to spell his first name?
Oh, Bradley is B-R-A-D-L-Y.
There you go.
No E on the
I was trying to get you with the E in Bradley.
But Nadeau is N-A-D-E-A-U.
One more?
Sure, why not?
Let me pick a good one here. I'm trying to pick someone that's doesn't. I think you're going to know all these. We'll go with.
I thought I knew Teravainen.
That's true too. Brendan Lemieux.
Oh, Brendan Lemieux. It's B-R-E-N-D-A-N.
Yep.
Lemieux, L-E-M-I-E-U-X.
Yeah. I think if you ask, obviously Lemieux is going to be. Hockey fans are going to get it, but that's a lot of vowels at the end. I tried to stump you with. Last one. The problem is all of the new guys that I would try to stump you with because you haven't seen them like in game notes forever and ever.
Sure.
They don't have the difficult names. It's
like Jackson Blake,
Scott Morrow, Ty Smith. Like I think you could get those.
Unless it was S-M-Y-T-H.
Nah, nope, it's not. All right, let's just do it. Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Kuznetsov. Oh, Evgeny, E-V-G-E-N-Y.
Correct.
Kuznetsov, K-U-Z-N-E-T-S-O-V.
Correct. Kuznetsov is actually spelled fairly phonetically.
Exactly.
Sound it out.
Nailed it.
There you go.
Crushed it.
Other than
do I win anything for that?
For going 3 for 4?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
If you would have gotten them all right, I would have given you an applause break.
Okay.
Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
NBA Western Conference Finals Game 4 last night. Minnesota Timberwolves get a win. They stay alive in the series. They beat the Dallas Mavericks. Game 5 is
you're telling me there's a chance.
Game 5 is going to be going back to Minnesota. No Derek Lively in that game, which is a big loss. I know he took a knee to the head from Karl Anthony Towns. He was out due to a neck strain, which is really unfortunate because he's their best big man defender. And then sure enough, Karl Anthony Towns has a really good game in Game 5. Or Game 4, excuse me.
It's one of those things where, I always think it's funny when an MVP candidate misses 3 games and his team stinks. And then the argument is, oh, he can't be MVP. He didn't play enough of the games. And I'm going, no. His time out proves how much of an MVP he is because his team got so much worse when he was out. I think Game 4 kind of showed not MVP status. Obviously, that would be Luka and Kyrie on the Mavs. But it does show how important Derek Lively is. They were rolling. Derek Lively goes out, they lose. So if I'm Derek Lively's agent, I'm going to remember this one. I'm going to cite this one in contract negotiations in a couple years. Like Derek Lively brings things. They might not always be seen on the stat sheet, although sometimes they are double-doubles and things. But they might not always be seen on the stat sheet. But he brings winning plays in a lot of way to the to the Mavericks. So, and by the way, he was a little woozy getting up and stuff when he got kneed and neck strain. You never want to mess around like head and neck injuries. You never really want to mess with. So I'm fine with and you're up 3-0. Be cautious. Be cautious. But I expect them to take care of business in Game 5 or Game 6 whenever Derek Lively gets back in the game. And he was seen after the game, like walking and talking and hanging out with I don't think we have to worry about the long-term stuff. At least you hope not. But still, Derek Lively, important to the Mavs. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
What?
So are we just assuming that the Eastern Conference Finals go to overtime every game?
Just go and start an OT.
We can just
go and start.
Make sure. See this. I was going to make a recording the game joke, but with streaming and everything, you just hit the game and it records. You used to have to make sure you recorded the episode of 60 Minutes after the game.
Oh yeah.
In case it goes to overtime, because you would shut off when you were recording the game. But that doesn't really make sense anymore, so that joke goes out of the way. But make sure you're recording for overtime if you're recording the game. Because pretty much every game in the NHL Eastern Conference Finals is going to extra. Does that make you think, as a Canes fan, does that make you think both teams were vulnerable and all you had to do was make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you would have been good? Or, all right, both these teams are playing high-level hockey, it makes sense, maybe it would have been tough?
I don't know. So the Rangers and the Panthers are tied 2-2 in their series. The Panthers won in overtime 3-2 last night. And it just the way I think about it is as a Canes fan, I watch them these games were that close. And you think of just how tight the games were that you had against the Rangers. And you're like, man, that could be us. 2-2 right now with the Florida Panthers. That could be us. That could be us. It should have been me. That's the way I think of it. It
could have been a contender.
Again, it shows you how razor thin the margins are in the postseason. But one thing I will say about Florida Panthers, in games they've lost this postseason, they're 4-1 in the next game.
That's impressive.
4-1 in the next game. That's impressive. And once again, I don't know how it is, but the New York Rangers seem to hang around despite getting outplayed at 5-on-5 on times. I don't get it. They still find a way. They scored a shorthanded goal.
Cockroach.
That's what our friends over at the Empty Netters say. They call them cockroaches. You can't kill them.
Can't kill them. Won't go away. Turn the lights on. They scatter. All right, let's quit that. Let's hit this. Last one.
You like that? You like that?
North Carolina native, NC Central grad. I guess we can say former Carolina Panther who's on the practice squad this past year. Tariq Cohen signed with the Jets. He's dealt with some pretty brutal knee injuries. He's still, 27 years old?
Pretty brutal knee injuries, some pretty brutal life events in his personal life. Family stuff that is completely out of his control that just will really hit you hard. He wrote a great essay about it on the Players Tribune. If you want to go read it, I will not pretend to be able to compose it compress it into a soundbite. You'd have to read the whole thing to get it. But he signed with the Jets, and I hope, just because he seems like someone that deserves it, local ties, hope he gets a chance to be their kick returner. There's going to be an emphasis on returns this year in the NFL. Mm-hmm. His skill set, if healthy, becomes more valuable. I hope he's healthy. I hope he sticks around. I won't root for the Jets much this year. I do have Garrett Wilson on a couple fantasy teams.
Okay.
But obviously with the Aaron Rodgers hype train, they're going to be a lot of people's enemy number one. Don't include Tariq Cohen in that.
Yeah.
Root for it. How about this? If he returns the kick for a touchdown, Aaron Rodgers doesn't go on the field, everybody.
Hey, look at that.
You don't have to hear everybody gush about how awesome he is. That's it for Hit It and Quit It. Let's head to the Storm Tracker. So here's how the Storm Tracker works. Dennis gets the latest Canes rumors, and we break them down a.k.a. we track the storm.
Tracking the storm.
What rumors are we tracking today, Dennis?
It's all about Martin Necas because everyone appears to be all about Martin Necas.
Everybody.
So the Boston Globe has written articles about why Martin Necas would be a great fit for Boston. We have seen Pierre LeBrun, actually like one of the hockey insiders. He's one of the Adam Schefters of the NFL that we see, or
of the NHL, yeah.
Or we have the NHL, or like we see with Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN when it comes to basketball.
Jeff Passan, that style of person.
That guy, the guy who knows things and talks to people and all across the league. Montreal Canadiens apparently have called the Carolina Hurricanes about Martin Necas. The Montreal Canadiens. And we also have heard Vancouver Canucks are all in on Martin Necas. We've actually go online. You just go on to X or whatever it is and just type in Martin Necas, Vancouver. And you will see media members in Vancouver saying why Martin Necas is the guy that will unlock the full potential of their star center, Elias Pettersson. Like, why he is the fit for it. You are seeing that. You are seeing people in Boston say, hey, you know what? If we get Martin Necas, he can be a perfect second-line center. Put him between David Pastrnak and Pavel Zacha. We get 3 Czech-born players playing on the same line. He could be a perfect number 2 center for us. Even though he's never played center in his entire NHL career. Even the Montreal media say, like, hey, he could be a good 2C, like a number 2 center. This guy never played center in the NHL. When you have a true, like, two-way center as a head coach, he's like, yeah, he's not good enough to play center in this league. But, hey, you know what? That's fine. Let them be the other teams and media. Let them be fascinated with the possibilities of Martin Necas. That's fine. I think Carolina Hurricanes can fill 2 gaps, 2 spots with Martin Necas. I think it's possible.
Here's the thing. Sell them that dream, baby.
Sell them that dream.
Sell them the dream.
Sell them that dream.
Get them all hot and bothered for what Martin Necas could be for their team.
Get them all steamed up.
And then bring them to an auction and say the highest bidder gets the player and see how crazy it can go. Right? Because what I will say, and by the way, this is not to knock Martin Necas saying he can't be any of those things.
Oh, he's super talented.
He's a very talented guy, and that's why all of these thoughts and opinions are out there and prevailing. It's part of the reason why the Canes need a GM. Somebody has to navigate this expertly, right? Because you can drop the ball pretty aggressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interest doesn't mean, that's a bird in the bush, right? Not one in the hand. You still have to land this plane at some point in time. You have to either, make the final decision and pull the trigger on a trade, or decide you're not going to. But either way, you have to hint. We have this offer, but you don't want everyone to know everything, so you don't want to give them all the information. You want to keep them hot and bothered and think they have a chance, but you don't want to make them think they're the only person in the running. Like it's now a masterclass in business that needs to be served up from the Canes. But the rumors are swirling. Martin Necas is the apple of everybody's eye.
He is desired right now because couple things. 1, he's young. 2, you don't have to worry about him hitting unrestricted free agency. You don't have to worry about that. So if you trade for his rights, he's yours. And you can do that before July 1st. You can make that move now.
Right, yep, if the Canes are willing to, because they don't have a GM.
Well, there's that.
Day 5, Canes, no GM. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to tell you about Window Nation, my partners over at Window Nation. Get a free, no-obligation quote now. Again, I've been saying this. The free, no-obligation quote can come with a consultation. And it's not just a consultation to walk in and say, you need new windows. It's a consultation to walk in. They carry a suitcase. Justin came into my house, one of the sales reps from Window Nation, came into my house, explained it to my wife and I. He brought out heat lamps. He brought out the examples of all the different windows, options, and hey, here's what you might buy somewhere else. Shoot the heat lamp at the window, put your hand on the other side, you feel all the heat. Here's what you'd buy from Window Nation. Put the window between the heat lamp and your hand, you don't feel it anymore. That's how dramatic the difference is. You can see it for yourself. Give them a call, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. Oh, and by the way, it is their semi-annual sale, which means Window Nation's windows are 50% off all window styles, plus 0 interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus if you schedule an appointment this week. So give them the call, 866-90-NATION, or visit them online at windownation.com. Schedule an appointment this week, and you'll get an additional bonus on top of 50% off all window styles, plus 0 interest for 5 years. That's what we're talking about when it comes to Window Nation. Just have them come out and do the experiment for you. It's pretty fun. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we have an interview with Jamie Watson, former pro soccer player, now in the media business, to talk about some of the big soccer events coming right here into our area. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Do you think it's fair to say that regardless, Anthony Edwards has already taken that moniker face of the league and run with it? I guess when I think about it, I think of regardless of the matchup, is this person who I'm going to revolve my night around? Am I going to say, oh, Luka's playing, I need to make sure that I'm sitting down to watch this game? Because
No.
I feel that way about Ant.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 Pepsis for just $4 at Handy Hugo. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Whether you're moving into a new home or sprucing up your outdoor space, get more done with the versatility of the Steel Combi System multitasking tool. The Steel KMA 80R Combi motor is compatible with up to 14 different power head attachments, allowing you to trim, edge, cultivate, and more. Right now, save $50 on the battery-powered KMA 80R Combi motor with AK30 battery, AL101 charger, and line trimmer attachment. Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. Offer valid for a limited time only while supplies last. Additional attachments sold separately. See participating dealer for details.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Heather O'Reilly, and I am so excited about the soccer schedule this summer. Come see me hit the pitch June 5th through 10th at TST, along with some of the biggest names in soccer, sports, and entertainment. TST will feature 118 matches and 56 teams competing for $1 million at WakeMed Soccer Park. Tickets start at $38 and are selling fast. Visit thetournament.com/soccer while they're still available. Following TST, Man City will play Celtic at UNC July 23rd.
You're listening to the Financial Safari News Network.
From Coach Pete's Money Desk, America's Wealth Coach, Coach Pete DeRuta. Coach, what is true diversification?
Diversification means not having all your eggs in one basket. So somebody once said, yeah, I'm diversified, Coach. I have 5 different mutual funds. And when I looked at the mutual funds, each mutual fund had the top 10 holdings were basically the same. They all had the Apple, the Microsoft, the NVIDIA, that kind of thing. So that's one side. There's diversification between risk, safety, and income, though. You need to have some risk. And as you get older, you need to tame the risk down more into safety. And after you reach the financial red zone, over 52, you need to know exactly what your income's going to be based on the money you have put aside. So we have growth, protection, income accounts where you can grow your money, protect your money, give lifetime income. Find out what your magic number is by the income number, by what you've already put aside. So call right now. We'll put together for you your very own customized lifetime income plan.
888-456-7577, 888-456-7577, or text ZONE to 600-700.
Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Welcome back into The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are joined in studio by former Tar Heel, Apple Fox sports broadcaster, soccer broadcaster, Jamie Watson, former pro as well. Jamie, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Tim, I'm so pumped to be on talking with you, talking soccer, talking anything that comes up. Thank you so much for making the time to have me on.
I appreciate you for being so accommodating, calling it soccer right out the gate, right?
Yeah.
Which is always the thing, right? It's how you point out the newbies.
Yeah, well, you can call it soccer. There are times when I get too excited and I'm like, oh, they play wonderful football, and then I realize I'm like, wait a minute, actually, gotta make sure to narrow it in with the right lingo here. But no, I'm so excited to talk about it. We've got one of the best soccer matches in the country happening right here in our backyard. I say our backyard as a former Tar Heel, right? Happening in Chapel Hill on July 23rd. So I'm so pumped to talk to you about Manchester City and Celtic.
Well, I mean, let's start right there. Man City and Celtic. What will there's the stereotypes of soccer, right? Brazil plays the beautiful game, and these teams grind, and these other teams do that. What are we getting with Man City and Celtic?
So what you're getting with these two teams in particular, that's a fantastic question, because that's where I think the whole story of it starts, and I think that's where the why you support the team or why you may fall in love with this team after the match on July 23rd. Manchester City currently, on paper, the way they play on the field, off the field, you could have an argument, but I wouldn't listen very, very intently to you if you tried to convince me that there's any other better team in the world right now than Manchester City. So we're talking about currently the best team in the world, Manchester City, versus one of the most historic teams in Celtic. Celtic is about to win the Scottish Premier League. They're neck and neck, but I think they've got enough to get over the line to win the championship. So now we're talking on that Tuesday evening in July, talking about the champions of Scottish Premier League. Manchester City, I think, have enough to get over the line to win the English Premier League as well. So we're talking about two champions, Tuesday, July 23rd at Kenan Stadium, facing off. This is the first time in 14 years that Celtic will come to the United States to play a game. Wow. And it's so cool that they're doing it here in the Raleigh area, right? At Chapel Hill, at Kenan Stadium, because I think last year when we saw Chelsea play Wrexham and sold out Kenan Stadium was such a wonderful display and showcase for how this area basically turns out for soccer. So why not run it back with two even bigger teams, two even better teams? We're going to try to top it last year, and that's a tough feat, but I think it can be done.
Jamie Watson joining us here in studio, UNC alum, former pro soccer player. Now he's in the media with the rest of us. This is all ahead of the event coming to Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, Man City, Celtic, Tuesday, July 23rd. It is an event where proceeds will go to the UNC Children's Hospital. Last year, the event donated $150,000 to UNC Children's Hospital. So this is a pretty good event. If you're interested in going, fcseries.com. It feels like soccer's having a moment right now. You bring up Wrexham.
Yep.
That is, especially in America, soccer's been having a moment everywhere for ever and ever, centuries. But around here, right, there's the Ted Lasso stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Wrexham stuff going on. There's events like this that are bringing some of the stars that we've only seen on screen right into our backyard. One of my favorite deals with Ted Lasso, and it went super viral at the beginning, was the how he's trying to remember the teams.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like they always have high expectations, they lose. The Jets, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I literally just in the hallway, someone described Man City to me as the Yankees because they can spend all the money in the world to go chase down wins, and the success is there or it isn't. Like how much of it of a bully can they be when it comes to checkbooks?
I mean, it's incredible. They have had this ability to go and spend to get the big players, and they've done well with that. But they've also been able to develop some players, and a player like Phil Foden, who could be the player of the year in the Premier League. He's sort of developed and matured over the last couple of years, starting at the international level with England, but he's also doing it domestically with Manchester City. The Yankees are a good way to put it because it is one of these iconic brands and iconic teams in the world. Celtic has that level of clout as well. It just hasn't. That story hasn't been told. I don't think in the United States to tell the story of Ted Lasso and Wrexham. That's wonderful storytelling that they've done with that. And I think Celtic understand how they've been able to transcend the world. And I think the United States is still maybe that last frontier because they haven't been here in 14 years. But I think once you see them here and you see the fervent fans that they have and the atmosphere that they create, you'll be enamored with how impressive it is in person. So I invite anybody that may be a diehard fan, if you're listening to this, you need to be there. If you're a fan that's like, I want to see what it's all about, you don't have to get a plane ticket and fly to Manchester. You don't have to get a ticket and fly to Glasgow. You don't have to do all that. You just got to drive down to Kenan Stadium. First, you got to go to fcseries.com. You got to get your tickets. Then you go to Kenan Stadium on Tuesday, July 23rd. You get to see the atmosphere on the outside, the supporter culture, and the welcoming. It's 90 minutes on the field where you're not friends, but, the other 22 and a half hours of the day, it's about growing this game and having the conversations and saying, here's why I fell in love. And who knows, maybe on Tuesday, July 23rd, this is where you fall in love and you find a new team because you were there, you saw the atmosphere, you saw the team play, you saw the stars, you got a new favorite player, new favorite team, and now you become a fan, right? It's the best way to really pull people in. These shows and watching the games are incredible. Ted Lasso has been wonderful to sort of ease that bridge, that gap, if you will, and ease people into it to go, oh, this is kind of cool that this is like people's lives behind it. Yeah, these players look like superheroes, but they are real people, right? And even though they are like machines of how they can just continually put out good performance athletically,
I
year
like
after
how
year.
you're saying they, like you weren't one of them, right?
Thank you for putting me in that category after 12 years.
I would say 12-year pro career. I have the resume here in front of me. ACC Rookie of the Year from your time at UNC, but MLS, Real Salt Lake, FC Dallas. You've been like in this world for a long time. We've talked about the moment soccer's having, and in a weird way, this probably should have been the first thing we brought up as far as the American moment of soccer, which is Messi is around here and he's playing here and the tickets are going through the roof. How much have you seen kind of like the Q score, the fame score of soccer in America change in the last 2 years, let alone the last 20?
What's really cool is I think that soccer in this country was already on solid footing before Messi. And I think soccer in this country will still be on solid ground without Messi. Messi's just been this catalyst, and he's the straw that stirs the drink, right? It's incredible. It opens up with this TV deal with Apple TV. It opens up globally the teams and the exposure that other MLS teams have because Messi he's your favorite player's favorite player. I mean, he's that iconic and that legendary of a player. This is you are watching the greatest soccer player in real time, and last year he sold out Bank of America Stadium, I think like 66,000 plus to watch him play a late season match in Charlotte. And so while I think that it's a wonderful story to talk about with Messi, we're talking about Copa America in the summer being here, FC Series going around the country as well. Messi's here, the World Cup's coming in 26. It is just one catalyst after another, and that's not even beginning to touch on the fact that the Women's World Cup as well. I mean, you've got so many different leagues, MLS, NWSL, USL Championship, it's soccer's everywhere around you, and I think the reason it works is because we talked about it's 90 minutes on the field, but it's the community that is built around it. You could have a favorite team. I could have a favorite team. I believe Dennis could have a favorite team as well, and it's one of those that, hey, look, it's okay if you do. Let's talk about it. Let's debate about it. Let's commiserate and together when things aren't going well, or let me pile it on for when your team's not doing well. And then when you get a chance to see it in person, like on July 23rd, even if Manchester City or Celtic are not your team, you can appreciate the atmosphere and the moment and the sort of event that happens around two of the biggest teams in the world being right here. It's incredible.
And again, going back to the event, I have some friends that were not soccer fans, but they wanted to get into Premier League soccer. They're
you and me both.
It seemed like the cool thing to do. And they were just looking for a team, and they stumble into Tottenham or they stumble into whatever team, and now they're like got to buy the gear, and then they're all into it. If you're looking for just a reason to be excited about a team, being able to see it right here in Kenan on July 23rd is that might be the thing. You might show up and leave a fan of one of these teams, and now that's your squad for life.
Exactly. And if we're being completely honest, people can like whichever team they want, and they can pretend like they don't like Manchester City. Everybody has to respect how good they are. This is the greatest team assembled right now. And it's a matter of fact, it's some of the best players in the world, some of the best players from each country getting together, and they form this like super team. It's absolutely absurd how good they are. And it's crazy to me that once you go to fcseries.com, you buy your tickets, you drive down, 30, 40 minutes from where we're sitting here today to Kenan Stadium on Tuesday night, July 23rd. You're watching them play, and you're getting to see brilliance in action. You're getting to see the history of Celtic and what they bring, and they're going to be champions of their domestic league as well. This is a marquee matchup, one of the events of the summer, and I think it's easy to see why I exude so much excitement about it, because I know where I'm going to be Tuesday, July 23rd, and I hope 50,000 new friends will be there with me. I hope you'll be there, Tim, as well.
50,596 the last time Keenan
I saw
Stadium,
you counting each one by one.
I did. I haven't. Again, it's all notes. The magic of radio. He's Jamie Watson, former UNC Tar Heel, current soccer broadcaster, and as he just said, you can hear the enthusiasm. Man City versus Celtic, Keenan Stadium, Chapel Hill, Tuesday, July 23rd. Event proceeds go to UNC Children's Hospital. Last year, they donated $150,000 to UNC Children's Hospital. Let's beat that this year. Tickets on sale now, fcseries.com. Jamie, we appreciate you.
Tim, thanks so much for having me on.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value, it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for that home improvement project. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now. 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back at the top of the hour with the starting five, including day 5 of the Canes GM search, coming up next.
If you love baseball as much as we do, play ball! Then you'll want to tune into 99.9 The Fan on Sunday nights this summer.
This one way back to left. Forget about it. It's gone.
Atlanta to Philly, St. Louis to L.A. Major League Baseball's best matchups will come to life.
Ground ball diving stop at third by Turner from his knees. He throws on to first and gets him.
Sunday Night Baseball on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Norse Brewing Company and by Baker Roofing.
Hey, it's Laura with the Good Feet store. To my fellow mothers, we can do just about anything. But sometimes, don't our bodies disagree? As a working mom of 3, those long days bouncing between the office and the kids would be even more challenging if I was suffering with foot, knee, or back pain. Almost all of my activities involve being on my feet. That's where my Good Feet arch supports come in. From playing hide and seek to walking around the office, life is go, go, go. Moms, we can't afford to let lower body pain slow us down. At the Good Feet store, we offer a 3-step system of arch supports that are personalized to your feet and your lifestyle. They're designed to work in almost any shoe, whether you're dressing for a day in the office or a walk around the neighborhood. Our arch support specialists will walk you through the benefits of each support and how they work together to reduce or even eliminate your foot, knee, and back pain. If you're looking for reliable support for your busy mom lifestyle, visit your local Good Feet store. Stop in for a free fitting and test walk or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com.
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the NBA postseason as it winds down. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
At Ram, all we do is trucks. And now during Ram season, all we do is offer great deals on our trucks, including Ram 2500 and Ram 3500 heavy-duty pickups. Or get a great deal and drive home the 2024 Ram 1500. It's the most luxurious Ram 1500 ever, based on standard and available features offered. Ram 1500 also has purpose-driven technology and advanced safety and security features for enhanced maneuverability. And right now during Ram season, it's the perfect time to get one. Hurry to your local Ram dealer today. Ram is a registered trademark.
It's Window Nation's semi-annual sale, and it's a big deal. Right now, get 50% off all windows, along with no interest for 5 years, plus bonus savings when you schedule a consult today at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. What a day. The humidity dropped, and an even bigger drop in humidity is coming for the next few days. Tonight's low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, cooler, the high 81. 79 on Friday with a big drop in humidity.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 411 points today to 38,441. Market update brought to you by FC Series. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina. Again, fcseries.com/Carolina and use code TRIANGLE.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time. Of all the words to stumble over today, I didn't think time would be the one I have a hard time saying. It is time for the starting five, starting with number 5. I got 5 on it. Day 5 of the Canes GM search. I feel like we're like lost at sea or something. Captain's log.
Yeah.
It's been 5 days, yet without a leader. Awaiting a storm to pass, and hoping someone will take control by the time it takes to decide what to do with crewmate Necas. Or I'm a big Survivor fan, right? They're big on counting days on Survivor. Mm-hmm. It's day 5. Woo, we made it. Day 5 of the Canes GM search. Would you put a deadline on it? Like, if you are Tom Dundon, the owner, are you saying I need to have a GM by whatever date and hold yourself to that? Because there are certain things like you want to have a GM in place for. The Martin Necas negotiations. They did make a small deal with Ryan Suzuki, but I don't think that takes...
Yeah, if you're wondering who Ryan Suzuki is, that's fine.
Yeah, he
plays in the
minor league player. So it's not like they've completely stopped everything going on in the in the front office. But there are certain decisions you probably want to have the real GM in place for. Do you set the deadline, or you could obviously hide behind, no, I take all the time you need to find the right guy or woman. That's I don't know.
Well, seeing as how the NHL draft is basically a month away, it's Friday, June 28th is when the first round is. So basically you're a month away from the NHL draft. I would probably say within a week. Within a
week from today.
Like a week from today? That's June 5th? That's pretty reasonable.
3 weeks to get ready for the draft?
Yeah. And plus, free agency starts July 1st. You have 14 guys on your current roster that are either restricted or unrestricted free agents. Got some stuff to figure out.
Okay, well we'll set the 1 week deadline. If it goes longer than 1 week from today, we start to get critical.
I think if we're past 1 week from today and it's not Eric Tulsky that's been promoted to be full-time GM, then it's probably going to be an outside candidate, is my guess. Because otherwise, why'd you wait so long?
Eliminate him first?
Otherwise, why'd you wait so long?
All right, so we'll hold our water.
That's what my gut tells me.
We'll hold our water on the criticism for a little bit. I think I would lean like Monday of next week.
Yeah.
I can give him a week because you said week, and I'll be generous today. I'm feeling good on a Wednesday, but my gut was to be shorter than that. I think it needs to be a certain amount of urgency to get your staff in line, unless like if it's Tulsky, that's an easy decision. Just take the interim off, or prove to me that you can operate without a GM and make something happen. Because if you go longer than like a week and a half without a GM, if you're not comfortable making big decisions without a GM, then you're getting left, right? Everybody else is getting better. Everybody else is exploring more options, and you're falling behind. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
NBA Western Conference Finals, not a sweep. Dallas Mavericks went up 3-0, and the Timberwolves said, we're not going out like that. Not sweeping us, said Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns and Mike Conley and that group. And the Mavs screamed back, you're lucky Derek Lively was out. By the way, there is some good trash talk happening in this series.
Oh, yeah, I'm for it.
I love good trash talk.
Oh, likewise.
Kyrie Irving, Anthony Edwards, that's a good little generational gap thing. First overall picks, like a decade apart, and only kind of exaggerating there. Let them kind of, have a war of words. Do you know what Anthony Edwards is, though? Anthony Edwards is and this is a frustrating person to talk trash with. Anthony Edwards is the person that can genuinely see the humor and the trash talk being said to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you make a good joke about him, instead of getting mad, he'll laugh. And that's frustrating, right?
He'll be the one to tell you, oh, that was good.
Oh, that was an Adam Sandler joke because I'm in the movie? That's pretty good.
Good one.
Like, watch this. Knocks down a 3. It's like, oh, man. It's a different kind of like defense in a trash talk war to just be so happy-go-lucky that it doesn't get to you. Like, he's the one that was trash talking Kevin Durant, and then after every game was saying Kevin Durant's my favorite player. That's crazy. I'm out there trash talking with him. Like that's such a good headspace to be in for a trash talk battle.
He gets such joy from that. He's like, "Wow, I'm trash talking one of my favorite players. This is awesome."
And then he goes out there and says some very, very mean things to him. It fit. But let's go to the Derek Lively portion of this. Derek Lively, lottery pick from Duke, rookie, second team all-rookie team. Didn't play in Game 4. He had a neck sprain. If you watched Game 3, you saw him shaking up pretty good. Took a shot to the dome.
Took a knee to the head.
And stood up a little woozy, had to be helped off. Didn't play in Game 4. It's kind of crazy to say. Like, you have the defensive player of the year in this series. You have one of the best shooting big men of all time in this series. You have one of the kind of consensus future faces of the league in this series. You have one of the current faces of the league in this series. You have somebody that hit an NBA Finals game-winning shot in this series. You have all of these stars, and I think you could feel the absence of the second-team all-rookie player when he was not in the game. Like, when he was not there, it wasn't like, all right, Luka will have the ball more. Like, no, it was you could feel the absence of Derek Lively, which is a massive compliment to Derek Lively, right? It felt the same as if, like, Rudy Gobert had to be held out for a game or something. I'm not saying he's that level of player. I'm not saying he's a defensive player of the year. I'm not saying he's a max contract guy. I'm just saying there's a difference between excuses and reasons. And if the Mavericks said Derek Lively didn't – if a Mavs fan told me Derek Lively didn't play in that game, that's why we lost, and I didn't watch the game or I didn't watch the cut-ups, I probably would go, that's an excuse.
Like, come on now.
You're really saying because your center off the bench didn't play that's the reason why you lost when the other team was backs against the wall elimination game and had a great performance from their all-star center. That's an excuse. But if you watch the game, you pay attention and you listen to the people that were covering it, I think it might be more of a reason. Mm-hmm. I think it might be legitimate. Like, no, actually, if Derek Lively plays, I think they end the series in a sweep, and we have a long wait till the NBA Finals.
You want a tinfoil hat this thing?
I would love a tinfoil hat.
I think tinfoil hat. NBA did not want to see 2 sweeps in their conference finals and having 10-day gap between conference finals and start of the actual NBA championship, the actual NBA Finals itself.
So they told them to hold out their backup center.
They told them to hold him out. They say, hey, doctor, we're gonna pad the wallet here a little bit. He's not able to play. We're gonna do that because we also want just at least one more game of one of the future faces and one of the rising stars in Anthony Edwards to play one more game at home. Tinfoil hat.
I get it. I just think
tinfoil hat.
You think the NBA knows? Ready? This is where
they know.
This is where I get real disrespectful to the NBA.
They froze the envelope for the Knicks.
No, I'm saying this is where I get real disrespectful to the NBA. You think NBA knows basketball enough to notice that Derek Lively holding him out would be enough to change that game?
That is the ultimate compliment. The NBA fixed it.
You don't think they would say like Luka needs to be held out or something like that?
Nope. They got to be subtle about it.
And they were like, probably a 5-point loss if Derek Lively doesn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Tinfoil hats.
All right, let's take the tinfoil hats off and go to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Nico Collins, wide receiver for the Texans, got paid yesterday. 3 years, $70+ million, $50+ million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you are a diehard NFL fan, a diehard fantasy football player, or a Texans fan. Do those exist?
I think a couple do now.
After last year, there's a bunch of people that are going, I've always been a Texans fan.
Yeah, see, I know. Remember Warren Moon?
Yeah, go back to the Oilers. Unless you're one of those 3 things, a Texans fan, a diehard, like real deep NFL, like Sunday ticket package watcher, or a fantasy football pretty deep in player, you might not even be fully aware who Nico Collins is.
Yeah, or care, which is fine.
Nico Collins had one big year last year, 1,000+, 1,200, 1,300 yards, something like that, 90 catches. He got paid huge amounts of money. He got paid $20+ million per year on an extension.
25
on an extension yesterday. The NFL wide receiver market is burgeoning right now. Little confusing though. And this affects the Panthers. If Nico Collins is getting paid like that, that means if Deontay Johnson has a big year, the Panthers will almost be forced to pay him $27 million a year minimum, because he's been better than Nico Collins over the beginning part of his career than Nico Collins was over his first 2 years. So I say that for this reason. The reason why Nico's getting paid is because he's good for C.J. Stroud, right? C.J. Stroud was everybody's quarterback of the like soup du jour, right? His quarterback du jour, quarterback of the day for the last year, right? He was the breakout rookie. He broke records. He's everybody knows, he's the guy that 10 years from now everybody's going to say, I knew he should have went first, even though before the draft pretty much everyone was saying Bryce Young should have went first. When C.J. Stroud plays well with Nico Collins, it becomes imperative that you keep the guys that help unlock C.J. Stroud around. If Bryce Young plays well this year and Deontay Johnson has a good year, it becomes imperative to keep him around, to keep Bryce Young developing, to keep him with his guy, to allow them to take the next step together, which gives Deontay Johnson just a whole bunch of leverage. because he's playing on a one-year deal essentially this year. His contract expires after this year. If he plays well, he is going to get paid. And if he's going to get paid, the Panthers have to make sure it's by them, or else Bryce Young will be starting from square one again with his wide receivers. David Tepper, open up the pocketbook a little bit there. And I'm not even saying it has to be unreal. I'm talking 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, 100 catches, 1,100 yards.
I mean, if he gets 100 catches, 1,100 yards, and 5 touchdowns, that's probably $20+ million per year.
Oh, easily.
Maybe 25.
Easily. Also, that's on.
And you can't let him walk if that happens. You can't let him walk if that happens because he becomes. You don't want to mess with the chemistry of the offense with Bryce Young playing well.
Yeah. Plus, as well as that, Adam Thielen will be entering in the last year of his contract next year. Then you still have rookie deals for Jonathan Mingo and Amir Smith-Marset.
Xavier
Leggett.
But I'll throw this out there also. The wide receiver market is only going up.
Yeah.
I never get when teams
stupid.
wait to sign their quarterback because I'm like, it's almost guaranteed 6 months from now quarterbacks are going to cost more than right now.
But I also think players are smart now knowing, like, yeah, I could wait 6 months and get paid more.
Well, right now we have Jamar Chase wants a bigger deal, not working out. We have CeeDee Lamb wants a bigger deal, not working out at OTAs. Justin Jefferson wants a bigger deal, not working out at OTAs. Brendan Ayuk wants a bigger deal, not working out at OTAs. T. Higgins, who isn't even the number one wide receiver on his team and has the franchise tag on him, not at OTAs, hasn't signed the franchise tag, wants a bigger deal. Like, once any of those guys sign, the wide receiver market only goes up. Right? And that's probably, like you said, that's what they're thinking. Justin Jefferson knows if Jamar Chase breaks the market now, Justin Jefferson can get $500,000 more per year. And vice versa. And CeeDee Lamb's going, let you both do it, and then I'll one-up you by $500,000 a year.
Yep.
And they're just waiting each other out. And their teams want to keep them around because they're really good. Wide receiver markets, it's going to burst at some point, but for right now, it looks like a stock that only goes up. That's number 3. Let's go to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Roy Williams, former coach, UNC Tar Heels, national champion, multiple times over. Excellent wearer of Carolina blue jackets. Although I feel like every coach of UNC gets pretty good at rocking the Carolina blue suit jackets. You know who actually why you should be jealous of Roy Williams?
What's that?
He's playing in a golf tournament today. That's where these comments we're about to play comes from. He was wearing shoes, obviously Jordans.
Yeah, I know.
His comment was, only Michael and I have these. If you have Jordan golf shoes that are literally just you and Michael Jordan, that's pretty good.
But I'd be damned if I'm going to pattern what we're doing after them. So let's get that straight right now.
I mean, that's a.
I'm not jealous. Nope, not at all.
That's a gangster move.
Yep.
These Jordans, yeah, Jordan has them and I have them. Hubert Davis probably like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Roy Williams, obviously, anytime he gets a microphone in front of him, people are going to ask him about the state of college sports because he's one of the elder statesmen of college sports. He was asked about the NCAA settlement and the paying of players that is going to come out of it. We're talking about the $2.7 billion that's going to be paid to former athletes over the next 10 years and the decision that revenue sharing can take place, meaning $20 million per year roughly of revenue can be shared with players directly from the school moving forward. Here's Roy Williams' reaction.
I don't have any thoughts because nobody has any thoughts. It's the biggest bunch of BS I've ever seen in my life. I'm happy that the players are being able to get some more money. I think that's great. But right now what we're doing is reacting to everything instead of making some plans in front. And so I always think those are bad situations, but I'm happy for the players. It's a different game now. It's a completely different era of college basketball and college sports in particular, or basketball in particular. But it's what it is. We got to adjust, and I could still coach today and take those kids out on the court and love what I was doing.
Reactive. Oh,
that's a bunch of horse.
Here's my hard part with calling the NCAA reactive in this instance. It's been very unpredictable what's gone on. right? From the court rulings, the state legislators getting involved, congressmen getting involved. It's been very hard. Like my question would be, if I were shooting the breeze with Roy, and he's saying, everyone's too reactive, need to plan ahead. I'd go, all right, what should I be planning for now? What's the next thing that's going to happen in college sports that I should have a plan for? And unless you have an answer to that, it's really hard to criticize the NCAA for being reactive, right? It's like, I'd love to be proactive watching this M. Night Shyamalan movie. I know there's a twist coming. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. What is that twist? Well, if I knew it, he wouldn't be M. Night Shyamalan. If I'm watching this and I'm going, all right, yeah, I want to plan for the future. I want to be proactive. I want to make sure college sports are healthy moving into the future. What should I be planning for? That's what no one has an answer to. I'm all for getting on the NCAA. I don't think the NCAA has done much right in my lifetime. Most of their decisions I look at and go, really? That's the best you could come up with? But in this particular case, when it comes to paying players, when it comes to these big lawsuits, when it comes to the transfer decisions that are being literally decided in the courts, it all seems very unpredictable to me.
It's also as well as the NCAA presidents or college presidents and college commissioners are going up to Capitol Hill and lobbying for, Congress to do certain things. And Congress is like, oh, wait a second, hold on. You're making a lot of money, not paying the people who are earning it for you all. So you're asking us to do something for you when we should actually be slapping you with different stuff.
So exactly. If the proactive nature is pay players as much as they possibly can and turn it into professional, is that really realistic for Roy to be like, should have planned for this, should have turned college sports into professional sports years ago? It's like nobody is going to make that, even though a lot of people think they're going to get there eventually.
Oh, we're going to be there.
Nobody is going to make that jump preemptively. It's like, yeah, we'll make it professional, but you're going to drag us kicking and screaming. And that's kind of, I think it's unrealistic to expect them to like, we're already here. What are you going to do now? It's a tough spot. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's, Roy from the outside saying, should have done this. And we're all going, yeah, with 20/20 hindsight, probably should have done that.
Yeah, but the NCAA's never shown any forethought. Never shown any foresight.
I try to look at each situation individually, right? It's not like, you've never used forethought, so this time you should have been a fortune teller. It's like, you can't tell the future whether in the past you've been good at it or not. What was that, number 2? Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
Okay, so earlier today we started our little Storm Watch, 4:33 every day, biggest Canes rumors.
Storm
Tracker. That's Storm Watch, obviously, leading into games with Adam Gold. Storm Tracker 4:33 will be the biggest Canes rumors each day of the offseason. Today, would it be easier, Dennis, for me to have you list the teams that haven't been linked publicly to Martin Necas in a trade than it would be to list the teams that have been? Because it was the Canucks, it was Boston, it was Montreal, it was there
the
were
Islanders have actually been mentioned as
there
well.
You go. If everybody wants Martin Necas, and everybody is a term, right? Like saying you guys, or I'm talking about that whole group. If everybody wants Martin Necas, the Canes should be able to get a very, very nice return on Martin Necas. So now it becomes, what do you want? If you're the Canes, right, look at the available options on those teams, right? Everyone that reaches out. Because here's the thing. It's public enough that Martin Necas wants out. It's public enough that a bunch of teams are interested that other teams are going to call just to check, right? Hey, is he available? Once you put the word out, right, you put the smoke signals out saying, hey, we have a 25-year-old forward. He's a winger for us, might be a centerman for you. Believe whatever you want. He can score 30 goals. Believe whatever you want. You can keep doing this with the smoke machine. As soon as everybody knows what's up, then it becomes, what do you want? Do you want a goalie? All right, well then you need to probably bleed the most you possibly can out of Boston. Do you want a centerman? All right, we got to look at who has one of those that they'd be willing to part with. Do you want a defenseman to restock what's going on the defensive side of the ice? Whatever it is, then you have to become a magician of a negotiator, right? Then you have to use other offers to get the team that has the thing that you want to offer that plus more. Or I can even toss this one out there at you, because this was a term Dennis used earlier when we were talking off air. Can you solve two problems with Martin Necas? Can you bring in a defenseman and a goalie? Can you bring in a defenseman and a centerman? Can you bring in a high draft pick and a defenseman? I don't know. Can you turn Martin Necas, who is right now one very good player for you, into potentially two very good players for you that can increase your chances at two different spots? These are the questions that are being asked of the Carolina Hurricanes. What do you want? Right? Because once you establish it, there's a market for it. It's like, ooh, interesting. Now, how do we want to capitalize on it? What do we if you equate Martin Necas to a trade chip, which is often, when you're going to trade, what do we want to cash this chip in for? Think of yourself like I just did this for the first time a couple months ago with my son. At the arcade, you have the just the mass of tickets, right? You won the skee ball a few times. You went around to the thing where the light goes around and you got to stop it. Yep. You know what I'm talking about? Yep. You won that a few times, and now you're over in the little shop, right? You have all these tickets. What are you going to cash it in for?
It's a lot of pencils.
The little erasers that don't actually erase, just smear it all across your paper.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got the bouncy balls.
Yep.
You have some candies.
Get a little slinky.
You have the crazy straws. You have all this stuff. You got to pick what you want with your currency. Right now, the Canes' currency is Martin Necas. And they're walking around the store that is the NHL, and they're going like, all right, we got some Canucks over there. All right, we got some Bruins over there. And we can afford 1.5 Bruins. We can afford maybe a straight-up trade for so-and-so. Like, you have to go around and make your decision. And I'll tell you right now, nobody is more indecisive than a 3-year-old in that room.
Yep.
They want the bouncy ball. They grab it. They want this. And then all right, you can have one of them. Oh, no. Meltdown. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan. Parents, you know where I'm coming from with that. I want to tell you about Capital Financial Advisory Group and Coach Pete. Get this. Life insurance, right? You think you know everything about life insurance, all right? You heard about it once. You understand it. The life insurance that you thought you knew, your parents' version of life insurance, it's a thing of the past. Embrace game-changing amendments to the world of life insurance, and that can help you along your path to retirement. If you're ready to learn about the practical ways you can utilize life insurance in your financial plan, you need to hit up Capital Financial Advisory Group and Coach Pete. Get this. Coach Pete tells me you could even use the death benefit to pay for any long-term care expenses tax-free. It's one of the many benefits of the new generation of life insurance. But Coach Pete and the fiduciary planning team at Capital Financial can walk you through the best ways to put your policy to work for you and your financial future using that benefit I just talked about or many, many others. What are you waiting for? Call Coach Pete and his team today. Call right now and Coach Pete will walk you through this strategy and hook you up with a copy of one of his best-selling books. Just make sure to tell him I sent you. The number to call, 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. But to get the best-selling book, to get the extra add-ons, you need to make sure you tell them you heard about it right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Or if it's easier for you to text, just text my name, T-I-M. Just text Tim to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700. Before we take a break, we need some numbers game contestants. We have a pair of tickets to see Brett Young at DPAC on Saturday, October 26th. So country music fans, you want to win the numbers game today. To win, you have to play. To play, you have to call in now. We need two contestants. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 if you want to play the numbers game, because it's coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
NC State grad slipped and slid and tumbled her way to her second championship cheese rolling event. Abby Lampy, who last year wore a black NC State hoodie, sliding and slipping and falling down this 200-foot hill. This year,
yeah. Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here. There's a lot to celebrate this month. Graduations, the end of the school year, barbecues, warm weather. I'm doing a little bit of all of that, which is why I trust Zero Res to come in and clean up the mess that all of that makes. Just check out the 3,800 raving customer reviews online with a 4.8 Google rating. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet Zero Resified starting at just $105 and take $100 off your air duct cleaning while you're at it. Make sure to mention me, Tim from 99.9 The Fan. Book with ease at ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Want to win a trip to the 84th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? The Law Tigers are giving away the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Go to stylininSturgis.com to enter. Prizes include VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage, sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo from Trask Performance, parts from J&P Cycles, firearms from Magnum Research, jewelry from Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soul E-Bikes. Go to stylininSturgis.com to enter today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have a pair of tickets to Brett Young, country music, at DPAC on Saturday, October 26th. Going to the winner, the contestants, Sean and Raleigh and Dave and Clayton. Sean and Dave, later today we're going to talk about some of our, kind of looking ahead to the summer, favorite sporting events of the summer. So I'll ask you, what is your favorite sporting event of the summer? That's our question to see who gets to go first. Sean and Raleigh, you go first. What's your favorite sporting event of the summer?
I like the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open. Very solid. Coming to Pinehurst this year. Good answer. Dave and Clayton, same question to you. What's your favorite sporting event of the summer?
Oh, definitely for this year is going to be the Summer Olympics from Paris. Going to support the USA all the way.
I can tell you both are on my list. Dennis, just because I know you're struggling with this one, I'm going to let you pick.
They're both awesome.
I'm going to let you pick. I saw you were like having an internal struggle.
I really was.
So who gets to go first?
I know you're a massive golf person, so I'm going to go U.S. Open.
It's a little bit more local too with Pinehurst. Although USA is local, it's tough. That's why I made
USA
you do it.
local?
Well, we're in the USA. Sean and Raleigh, you get to go first. That's Dennis's decision. The categories you get to choose from are NFL X marks the spot. All players that have an X in their name. NFL on a mission. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I believe they all went to BYU. Looking at it, so they all went to BYU on a mission. Get it? Sometimes the categories, I have to figure them out like in real time. NBA current players only and NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Let's do NFL X marks the spot.
All right, these are all players that have an X somewhere in their name. I will give you the team. Oh, can you turn down your radio a little bit? All right.
Yeah, is that better?
Yep. I'll give you the team and the player. Oh. I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. There will be one pass if you need it. Whoa. That's what the horn will sound like when it's over.
Yes.
Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn.
The horn is primed and ready.
Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
12.
Incorrect. Dexter Lawrence, New York Giants.
90.
Incorrect. Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
17.
Incorrect. Dexter Lawrence, New York Giants.
93.
Incorrect. Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
Pass.
Alexander Madison, Minnesota Vikings.
25.
Correct. Rex Grossman, Chicago Bears.
3.
Incorrect. Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs.
8.
You knew the positions pretty well. You were dancing around the right area. Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs, number 11. You went 12. You went 17. They were all kind of close. Dexter Lawrence with the Giants, number 97. You were in the 90s again. You got Alexander Madison with 25. He also wore number 2, so he would have accepted either, but you did get that one right. Rex Grossman, Sexy Rexy with the Bears. He wore number 8. So you ended up with 1. We'll see if it's enough to hold up. We'll put you on hold and see what the next contestant can get. That brings us to Dave and Clayton. Dave, are you there?
I'm there, but I have a question. What if he was talking about U.S. Open tennis? Would I have gone first?
You know what? For this, I'm going to say no. You would have gone second, just because I don't want to have to go back and relitigate that. So
all right,
you want NFL on a mission?
NBA current players.
All right, these are all current players in the NBA. I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass. You need to get 2 right to get the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Patrick Beverley, Milwaukee Bucks.
11.
Incorrect. Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio Spurs.
Pass.
CJ McCollum, New Orleans Pelicans.
Whoa.
Incorrect. Patrick Beverley, Milwaukee Bucks.
33.
Incorrect. Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio Spurs.
12.
Incorrect. CJ McCollum, New Orleans Pelicans.
22.
Incorrect. Patrick Beverley, Milwaukee Bucks. I respect that you kept firing. I respect that you kept sending guesses out there. Patrick Beverley with the Bucks wears number 21. Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs, the Rookie of the Year, wears number 1. CJ McCollum with the Pelicans wears number 3. Unfortunately, he didn't get any of those, so not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun playing. All right, see you later, Dave. Sean and Raleigh, you are the winner.
Awesome.
I am a little curious now. When you said U.S. Open, you meant golf or tennis?
I meant golf.
All right.
I'm going to the Saturday round this year, so looking forward to it.
Perfect. All right. I'm glad we guessed that from the beginning. So you are the winner. You get the tickets to see Brett Young at DPAC on Saturday, October 26th. Just go ahead and sit on the line, and Dennis has some info he needs to get from you, all right?
All right, thanks.
You are very welcome. That is I'll tell you what, part of it really is, and you know, that's sports, but part of it really is the opponent you get. Sometimes, you know, we get people that get 3, and they have no shot because their opponent got 5 or a smooth 4. Then you get somebody like today where you can win the whole darn thing and get the tickets and have all the bragging rights, and all you had to do was get 1. Alexander Madison, too. That's of the numbers. Yeah, it's funny the way brains work when you get under the wire, right? And I say this to everybody because so many people stop me when I'm out and about chatting or whatever at a party. They talk about the numbers game, and they talk about how, oh my gosh, some people call in, they're so bad. And I'm always saying it's so much easier in your car with no pressure to just get them all right. Your brain works in funny ways when you hear the clock ticking down and you know that you're on the radio. Your clock works, your brain works in funny ways. And the fact that you can go like, I don't know, the superstars, but Alexander Madison, number 25. It's sometimes it's the weird way the brain works.
It's just how it is.
It's a fun game, though. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. Father's Day. It's right around the corner, folks. We're like, not even 3 weeks away till Father's Day? You're probably already thinking, man, what am I going to get Dad? What am I going to get him? He already has all the cool tools. He's already got all the stuff for the yard. He's already got stuff for his vehicle. He's got the nice golf club. What are you going to get him? Get him the gift of a great experience that you can share with him. That's what people want in general. They want a great experience that they can think about again and again and again and talk about with their friends, talk about with their family, and maybe have that experience again year after year. Well, that's what Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School can give you. My parents are actually going to be in town for Father's Day weekend. I'm thinking I'm taking my dad to Deep River. We've already been there once before, had an awesome time, and we talked about we just got to go back. It was so much fun. Let's go back. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing for Father's Day, taking my dad down to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. It's an absolutely wonderful time. Don't got to worry about booking a tee time. They have everything for your round of clays down there for you. Go to deepriversportingclays.com. Check them out online. See all they have to offer. Again, deepriversportingclays.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We look ahead to the summer of sports ahead. We look ahead to the summer of sports ahead. It's not the best worded sentence. Either way, we're going to talk about the summer of sports coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I tweeted one out last night. Mike Breen told a story about Walton taking Breen's dad, who served in World War II, to the Midway Museum in San Diego. There were so many great stories about Bill Walton. In so many ways, it was sad that he's gone.
Sure.
But it was almost an uplifting
it's definitely
feel to all
like
of it.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
McDonald's presents Burger Reviews by Hamburglar. Today's review, the best ever Big Mac burger. Take it away, Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, there's more special sauce in every bite.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble indeed, my friend.
Save on a Big Mac and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus get any size Diet Dr. Pepper for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Available at most restaurants in this area. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? This is the best time for being outdoors, but not if your knees, shoulders, back, or hips are hurting. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, and move again, all pain-free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473. 7473.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we're at Athens Drive Magnet High School, and we're here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Connor O'Toole.
What does winning this award mean to you?
I think it means a lot. Past 4 years, I've put in a lot of work in athletics and in school. I'm glad to see it's paying off, but also all my friends have helped me along the way to elevate my game.
You're involved in a service organization. What kind of impact does this work have in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, so it's not just about getting those service hours in. For example, for Science National Honor Society, when we're taking those invasive plants out of the lake, that's a lake that we run every day at practice. And it's just good to see the community cleaned up, and it's helping everyone around it as well.
Having Connor on our teams has really just meant a consistent, reliable leader and somebody who kids are drawn to. So you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right the first time. And then other kids will follow his lead, really in anything.
He's always pushing us to be a better person, not just on the track, not just during cross country, but in school and everything.
It's just that family feeling. We're all working together. For friends, we practice together, we train together, so that means we're getting better together. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, having so much support.
Such a hard-working kid, and I love him to death. He motivates me every day and pushes me to my limits.
Congratulations, Connor.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 Pepsis for just $4 at Handy Hugo. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people?
Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie.
Don't they do that in the studio?
Oh, normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I think we've had a long enough time to grieve the end of the Cane season to where we can start looking at other sports. We can start, having a relationship with other sports, and nobody's going to get mad at us. So here's where I'm looking.
Moving on that quickly, huh?
I mean, until next year. It's like a summer fling, right? It comes around every year.
Cuffing season.
Yeah, there you go. So I thought we'd look ahead to the summer and some things that you have to look forward to. That's why we asked the question with the contestants in the numbers game not long ago. I'll start, and it's one we already heard today. It's an Olympic summer. I am a sucker for the Olympics. I love everything about it. I'm probably people that don't even care. I've told too many people that they're going to do a gold zone this year. You know what the gold zone is?
No.
Do you know what red zone is?
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So the red zone is for football Sundays, right? Everybody knows about it. You get every scoring play, every high leverage situation. They cut from game to game to game. They're doing that with the Olympics, only they're calling it gold zone, and they're just going to take you to the most clutch thing at whatever sport is going on. Mm-hmm. We've got a real tight one in international team handball, so we're going to leave this 1,500 meter swim, jump over to handball. Oh, look at this. We have a close one on the tennis courts. We're going to go over there. Oh, they're coming down 18 in golf. We're going to swing over there. I am way too excited about it. I'm telling most people I interact with, like, hey, did you hear they're doing a Gold Zone? I love the Olympics. Do you know what was my favorite training camp in college?
What's that?
Which, by the way, no one really likes training camp.
No one. Everyone hates
it's
training
2 days. You're up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're staying late.
It's
meetings.
hot.
It's hot. You're staying in the dorms, even if you have an off-campus apartment. It's a whole thing. I loved 2012 training camp. Do you know why? Because the Olympics were going on, and no matter what time of day we had to be awake in the training room, they had Olympics on. It was awesome. I'd be there at 4 o'clock getting my hamstring treated because I had hamstring issues late in my career. And I'd be watching, like, men's field hockey, the Dutch against the Germans, and it was exciting. I love the Olympics so much. Paris Olympics this summer are going to be great.
Do you have one event? If you could pick one event to watch, do you have one?
Ooh. See, I'm going to overthink this. I mean, the obvious answer is the 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a good one.
I honestly think it is the most pure athletic event in the world because, like, the best quarterback in the world may have grown up their entire life thinking they're a bad cricket player. You know what I mean? Because they were born in an area where they didn't play American football. The best cricket player in the world may have spent their whole life here in America thinking they're a bad soccer player or a bad basketball player. So it's like there's very few sports that everyone would be discovered no matter where you are. But every single person in the world has looked at a kid when they're younger and said, I'll race you to that tree, or I'll race you to that car, I'll race you. And if you win, you go try to find another kid. I'll race you there. And you do it again and again. And if you never lost, you're going to end up at some academy somewhere running track. And so I think the 100-meter dash is kind of the only thing where, like, when you say you're the fastest person in the world, it's kind of true.
It's one of the most pure forms of competition.
So
there's no, like, referee that might influence a game or something
exactly.
like that. It's just who gets from, like you said, point A to point B fastest. That's it.
I love it. Now, if you say, like, you can only watch one event, I'm not going to pick the one that takes, like, 9.5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd pick, the marathon or something because then I'd get more time. But there's nothing better than the 100-meter dash.
I love watching U.S. women's national team soccer, and women's soccer has no age restrictions. Like men's soccer in the Olympics has like age restrictions and things like that, which is really weird. But nonetheless, I enjoy watching U.S. women's national team soccer, so I really enjoy that a lot. But I also am a big fan of the swimming events.
Yep.
The swimming events are pretty awesome.
There's always like a 2-week period where all the swimming's going on. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good time. I love the Olympics. Olympics are awesome.
I'm also interested to see there's new sports. There's like breakdancing.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of weird.
It's weird, but I'll be darned if I'm not going to watch.
I will admit, I watched some of like the BMX biking and all that kind of
the
stuff.
Skateboarding. And honestly, if there's any situation where you can have like United States across your chest on your jersey, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you're the United States of America official team breakdancer, you better bring it. You better spin on that head.
I know.
You better do some elbow presses. I don't know what they're called.
By the way,
helicopters.
The sport I'm looking forward to coming most of the Summer Olympics in 2028 in L.A., it's lacrosse, baby. Lacrosse back to the Olympics. It's been over 100 years.
How did the Native Americans play in lacrosse?
That is a big question. So I know in the World Championships, the Iroquois competed under their own sovereign nation, and they're recognized as that in the World Championships. I'm not entirely sure how that would actually will work come the Olympics. I do not know because I know
they take from both Canada and America, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like where their tribes are. I want to be sure to use all the appropriate terms.
So yeah, there are people who've competed who are born on quote unquote Canadian soil or U.S. soil that compete for the Iroquois. But also you get into in the World Championships, you have England and Scotland have their own teams, and now you have to compete under Great Britain, because actual.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Actual sovereign nation. So
that's 2028. Where this year they're not in.
But I am looking forward to lacrosse this summer.
Other sports, U.S. Open at Pinehurst.
Sure,
goes without saying. I'm still a guy that believes in MLB All-Star Weekend.
Okay,
I still like the home run derby. I know it's become cool to say it stinks now and nobody cares. I like All-Star Weekend. I like that one of the days before or after the All-Star game, there's the ESPYs. I like that whole weekend becomes a really good weekend for me. Week becomes a really good week for me. I like seeing the players in the All-Star game have their kids in the dugout. It's baseball and I like it.
Yeah, the ESPYs. We'll have to do our Fanny Awards
we will
for the
have to do our
second straight
Fannies.
year. We did that last year, this past summer.
Let's do them bigger.
Luis
this year.
Fernandez and I did it. The Fannies.
Let's do it bigger this year.
Yes, big Fannies this year.
You did that intentionally, didn't you?
What? If you want to make the Fannies big, let's do it.
What am I missing? What else is happening this summer?
Lacrosse, obviously, like I mentioned. PLL season gets underway this weekend, folks. Premier Lacrosse League. By the way, they're in Charlotte next week.
Is that the other one?
Carolina Chaos.
All right, there you go.
Exactly. So we have that coming up. Some people are really big into the NBA draft. You have the NBA Finals. You have the Stanley Cup Finals. They're all taking place within the matter of a couple of weeks. Those are big-time summer events as well.
I'm always a big Little League World Series guy. Just watching kids have fun, playing the game for the right reasons.
Yeah, and watch other people make money off them.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be able to watch. If ESPN wasn't making money, we wouldn't be able to watch them.
Okay.
Kids, it's cool. I knew a couple kids when I was in Hawaii that won the Little League World Series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they came back like celebrities. It was kind of cool.
I bet they were.
Eva Beach, I think it was 2004 maybe, but it was cool, and they had a great time. They had so much gear. It was crazy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to an end. We're going to pass things off to Overdrive, where we start with a little
real quick.
Go ahead.
College World Series.
College World Series.
Yeah, Omaha.
We talked quite a bit about that. By the way, we're going to have NC State Baseball Regionals Friday at 7 o'clock right here on 99.9 The Fan. Overdrive coming up here in a few minutes has a little GM search talk for the Canes. What can Eric Tulsky do, the interim GM, to make it not interim? What can he do right now to prove that he should be the real GM? That's a conversation we had earlier today, and it will lead off Overdrive here on 99.9 The Fan. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Comment, like, subscribe, tell your friends, share the videos. That would all be a very awesome personal favor for us. Until tomorrow at 3, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you then.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.